Jerk alert!
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
Tractor beam sucked me right in.
He slimed me.
It's not a tumor.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Movie Roulette Podcast. I'm Shroud.
I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I've got a question, a dire question for you gentlemen.
Uh-huh.
What's that?
And you listeners. Do you guys know the difference between a cover band and a tribute band?
I
no.
think I do.
Okay.
Oh, no. Okay, wait. Can I? All right. I'm going to guess because I don't know that. This is my guess. A cover band is a band that does multiple bands, songs for multiple bands, and a tribute band is just focuses on the one band.
Exactly. That's exactly
That's
right.
exactly what it is. With the one caveat that also the tribute band tries to look like the artist as well.
Okay.
They take on the aesthetic sometimes,
Yes,
and
like-
it goes beyond just the songs usually.
Oh,
What is it? What is
John played the
The
Rickenbacker in this one, so Rickenbacker it is, or
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
it might be.
So, and why is this relevant? Well, today we're talking about a movie,
Oh, yeah.
Rockstar.
Uh-huh.
2001,
That-
Rockstar.
Yeah, 2001. And this may or may not have some tribute bands in it.
Maybe. So in that case, is it about time for us to take our shot?
Yeah, my prediction that is Strout was going to scream, stand up, and shout.
Yes.
And I'm
I
sure
have-
you saw that coming, but it just felt
I
appropriate.
thought about it.
Okay. Well, at
Stand
least
up and
So-
shout.
Don't hold that over my MacBook.
I'm not.
going
Cheers.
around this one.
To Xenu.
Xenu.
Wait. To the rock and roll gods.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
And to the rock and roll gods. Oh God. Ooh. Ew.
That's not American Honey. It's
Ew.
different.
Okay, this larceny. Did you run this through that machine?
I did not. It's just been sitting there.
Hmm.
It has literally been sitting there since it
It's
was
not
bought.
good today.
Tastes like there's heavy metals in it.
It does. It doesn't taste like it's not. It's not.
It
as
has
good.
not moved since you set it back down there.
All right. Well, speaking of heavy metal,
Andy, all
Andy,
right.
tell us about the movie.
that's a transition.
That is a transition. Hold on. All right. Are you guys? So, if you have not seen this movie, it is written by John Stockwell, directed by Stephen Herrick. I think it's the first time I've ever done the two names correctly, and without you guys being telling me I did it wrong. Starring
John
now-
Stockton.
Yep, John Stockton, the foosball player, right? All right.
think so.
So I did the movie characters, so the actors, and then the special guests. So this is starring Mark Wahlberg, Jennifer Aniston, Dominic West, and Timothy Spall, and Timothy Oliphant, because he was a little bit too far down on that. I didn't see it until later.
Which I love Timothy Oliphant.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Timothy Oliphant, but I do have something about him. But the special guests in this movie, there are so many to name. I'm sure that you have them all written down. I have them down a little bit farther, but we have Zach Wilde, Jeff Pilson, is it Blas?
Bias Elias.
Bias Elias, Stephen Jenkins, and the best person on this list other than Zach Wilde, Jason Bonham.
John Bonham himself's son.
Yes.
Okay.
And
he's
it's not Blas. It's Blas or Blas.
Blas.
Elias.
I like to say Bias Elias and pretend that L is an I.
That's what I thought I misspelled it, or I did a capital I after the. So I was like, oh, it's a Bias Elias. Okay, so it is Blas Elias. Okay, I was right. You fuck.
Blas or
No, I know,
or
but
Blas.
when I saw it,
Elias. I think it's Elias.
You know, it's more of an inside joke with myself because when I saw it, I was like, dude, that would be sick.
So hey,
Bias
Or
Elias.
Bias Elias.
So yeah,
Here's Gazias in your eyes.
But yeah, Jeff Pilson is from Dawkins.
Yes.
Bass player.
Stephen Jenkins from
Third Eye Blind.
Third Eye Blind,
Singer,
yeah.
singer of Third Eye Blind.
Sit and Spin.
Blas Elias is the drummer of Slaughter.
Yes,
Yes, he
and
is.
he was all.
But in this movie, I think he's playing lead guitar in the band.
No, that would be Zach Wilde.
Yep, that was
No,
Zach
but there's
Wilde.
two guitars. That's right. I didn't mean
Dominic
lead
West
guitar.
is the other guitar player.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no shit.
No,
So one of the
Jeff
guys,
Pilson,
well,
one of them is in one of the backup bands.
Blas Elias was.
two of the guys, two of the guys in. We'll get into it. Two of the guys
Blood
in the main
Pollution.
band of the movie are actors.
Mhm.
The other three are actual musicians.
Yes.
Correct. I got you now because
Same deal with the tribute band.
Yes.
is
Bob
it's
Elias
two
is in
guys.
one of those.
It's two guys that are actors and three guys that are actual musicians.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of fun little Easter eggs for rock and
we'll
rollers.
get into those as we get through the script read and everything.
Good. I'm glad you got them.
Yeah.
There's too many. I didn't write them down.
I have the thing for it. So, but
The thing. Are you going to tell us about? You got a little recap for us?
I do
on
have
this,
a recap for you. That is, I completely forgot to write it. So this is off the cuff. I don't know what voice to do. I was thinking about doing like a hello. No, that's not there. That's not it.
Hello. Nope.
Hello. Me. I'm just a worm.
I'm just a worm. All right.
No.
I like to eat pussy.
I like to eat pussy.
Loads of it.
of it.
Tons.
Breakfast,
Shut
morning,
up
day, night.
and get in here and just do it. All right. So if you have not seen this movie, I'm just going to do a normal voice today. I don't know why I couldn't think of anything.
Do that. Get that intense, normal voice that you're
Okay.
doing right now.
All right. So if you have not seen this movie is about a man who loves this fucking band. Never heard of this band before in my life, but they are awesome. And he goes to the show, and the lead singer hears him, and as he's singing, he's like, "Hey, dude, that guy sings really well." And then he becomes the lead singer of the fucking band. And then he gets into the 80s and shit like that. So there's a lot of drugs and stuff, and Jennifer Aniston's all bummed out. And then, it might be the 90s. So enjoy it.
That's pretty good.
See, it's not bad. It got better as it went on. It got better as it went on. Because it was in the 80s, and then it might be the 90s. Enjoy it. That's perfect right
Yeah,
there.
that was
That's actually kind of it right there. It's the 80s, and then it is kind of the 90s, and then it's over. And there is a lot in between those things, but man,
Yeah,
that
I don't want to fucking spoil it for everybody. God,
no, not at all.
So,
Do you remember the first time you saw this? 2001 is a pretty primo time for us. We graduated high school recently, in the last couple of years.
You and I were touring in our band.
Correct.
Yes.
So we didn't watch it back then, I don't think.
I think I saw it about
a
a year. We were still doing Saved by Grace when I saw this, but it was
I
about a
probably
year,
saw it around
probably
then.
a year after it came out. I think you and I saw it. I think
Maybe.
you either showed it to me or because we used to quote this and talk about this together
Back
all the
then?
time. Yeah,
Because I know I saw it kind of early. I just don't think I saw it in theaters. And
I think it was about a year after it came out.
and I have a hard time putting it at it was one of my favorites. But I thought it was fun, much like the movie Selena's.
No.
Similar time period and just music centric, but not like, oh, this movie's incredible, but it's like a fun watch. And there, it's one you got to suspend some disbelief in the music world, but there's just fun in it.
yeah. Well, I think thinking back to it, I haven't seen it since 2001, and I remember I think it was either you that I went and
Man, I
saw
can't
it with
imagine.
in the theater.
You think?
Because I remember seeing it
That
in
might
the
have been
theater.
the first time I saw it. And back then, you and I would just be like,
Do you want to go? It was a random Tuesday.
we would be bored and it's like, you want to just go see a movie?
Yeah, and we
And
would
so
do
would
that
just,
shit.
Yeah, go fucking get some popcorn, watch a movie, and just be like, it was cool.
Yeah,
Later. We just go home.
because what month did this come out?
Wikipedia will have the actual date.
Yeah.
I've got it.
But because if it was, I want to say it was like in October,
September 7th of 2001.
So I like you guys had just gotten back from tour. I was working at Applebee's.
Yeah, because we were on tour through about a week after. We were on tour from like late August through about a week after September 11th.
Yep.
Yep.
And then so
That was from
From
Autumn
Autumn
Ashes. Tour.
Ashes.
Yeah.
and so you came back. I was working at Applebee's, going to community college, and I think it was just one of those things like, you want to go see a movie?
Well, we
and
saw so many random movies that I couldn't remember that this was like, I didn't have that memory of like, I remember the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
I just remember a rough time. I would have saw it like, not maybe in 2001, but I guess apparently I did.
Yeah,
We saw it in theaters.
I want to say like, but I have not seen it since then. I remember it like made an impact on me. I was like, this is fucking cool. This would be sweet if like this was a real thing. And then the only other thing I remember about it was fucking Zakk Wylde shredding out the entire time. Every time that he's on stage in that movie, I fucking loved it. And
Well,
I like bringing it back.
Having like, two actors that we've covered before, Jennifer Aniston and Mark Wahlberg.
Yep.
They're big stars and stuff, and when they're in this movie, you almost feel like it's going to be even more kind of.
Wait, when did we cover Mark Wahlberg? Oh, Fear.
Here, like two episodes ago.
Yeah.
But like whenever they're like,
Oops.
you think it's going to be like more commercial and like make it about a romance or
Yeah.
something. Some of these elements are in there, but there's so many Easter eggs for true like rock and roll
Musicians, yeah.
fans and musicians
Yeah.
and stuff like that. That I felt like there's some love that kind of went into the character development of these musicians, and that's where I think a lot of the comedy is, and what made it so fun to watch is you do see little stuff that's for us,
Yeah.
or like the guys that have kind of done.
Yeah.
It's just there's fun shit in there.
There,
For
like,
sure.
you could tell that there was a lot of love and like someone who had been there.
Yeah, they have like musicians, obviously actors in there, so they would know how a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff is handled. But it seemed like it was even written or crafted
That's what I mean.
with those people in mind, rather than the mass market. You know,
So
it was fun.
like, but I mean, yeah, I remember it was a good movie. Didn't change my life, but I
could
Yeah.
agree with that for sure.
Yeah. So
I think I actually had intentionally sort of avoided it for a little while. I was thinking that it was going to be lame.
You're right,
because you had such a crush on
Right.
Mark Wahlberg, you didn't want to pop a boner while saying it. I get it.
Well, it's a bigger boner now than it was then, probably.
I thought it gets smaller as you get older.
It gets smaller as you get fatter.
Oh, that's right.
Amen, brother.
Doo-doo-ch. So I eventually came around to watching it on I know it was on DVD. Or
DVD.
maybe not DVD, it was on cable.
Uh-huh.
Probably at the LMF mansion, but before no, you know what? I probably would have watched it before that.
Yeah.
At me and Travis's maybe.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, when I finally watched it, spoiler alert, I realized how awesome it was, and I immediately went out and bought it on DVD, which I still own that copy to this day.
Well, I mean, if it's not a spoiler for you thinking it's awesome, like your reaction. I mean, I can cue that
we're
shit
gonna
up.
rate it later.
we
but
rate.
We're gonna rate it later.
know.
I
But
see where he's getting
I know,
at.
but do you not remember his fucking reaction last time? Jesus Christ!
so yeah,
I don't remember a lot of
I
things.
watched the copy that I bought 20 years ago, or 22 years ago, or whatever, is the same copy that I watched on this round. And I've continued to watch it over the years quite a bit. I quote it a lot. And a little thing, and I don't want to step on anybody's trivia, but I think this little bit of trivia needs to be said before we talk about the movie.
Okay.
This script was actually inspired by the real life story of Tim Ripper Owens,
Yep.
who was a singer in Judas Priest tribute band,
Yeah.
who was chosen to replace Rob Halford when he temporarily left the band. I think he was in the band and actually Judas Priest for a year or two.
Yep.
So this was
Very cool.
This was
You didn't know that?
I think I think I learned that a long time ago. I just forgot it was Judas Priest, but I was
Yeah.
like, what was the band? So I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
very cool. And I know like Rob Halford did fight and shit, which
Yeah.
my memory wasn't that bad. And then I knew he came back.
So yeah, it's loosely based on a true story of there is a Rob Halford shout out in here. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I pointed
It's
it out.
vaguely familiar, so when we get there,
Yep. I'll
I
pull it.
know where it is. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So like without further ado-dos, let's go ahead and get into it.
All right, scene 1.
More.
Rockstar opens in modern-day 1990s with a documentary-style interview featuring Chris Cole, former lead singer of the world-famous metal band Steel Dragon. It flashes back to Chris's days before joining the group. In the mid-1980s, Chris Cole lives in Pittsburgh and is a fanatical admirer of the heavy metal band called Steel Dragon. He lives in a crowded house with his loving parents. His mother also runs a daycare out of the house. By day, Chris is a photocopier technician, and by night, he's the lead singer of a Steel Dragon tribute band called Blood Pollution. The name is taken from a Steel Dragon song. We see how serious Chris is about the band at a rehearsal for an upcoming performance. He wants his band to hit every note just like the Steel Dragon records. Later, we see Chris and his bandmates attend an actual Steel Dragon concert. They get into an altercation with a rival Steel Dragon tribute band in the parking lot of the show. The next morning, we meet Chris's cop older brother Joe as he wakes Chris up by bullying him. Pig! Later, Chris has his supportive girlfriend / band manager pierce his nipple. The lead singer of Steel Dragon, Bobby Beers, pierced his, so Chris has to do it too. Chris then experiences a falling out with his Blood Pollution bandmates, particularly guitarist Rob Malcolm. During a show, Rob plays a guitar solo instead of following the note-for-note accuracy to the original Steel Dragon song, and after Chris sabotages Rob's amplifier mid-song, the fight breaks out between the two on stage. The next day, Chris goes to rehearsal but finds out that he has been replaced by his arch-rival Bradley, the shitty lead singer of another Steel Dragon tribute band called Black Babylon. Rob and Chris argue, and Rob criticizes Chris for preferring to remain the singer in a tribute band rather than create his own music. That night, Emily tries cheering Chris up by revealing that she has always known he will be something one day, that he will make it.
Ooh, so
All right.
Okay, so during the intro,
starts out fun.
during the intro, Mark Wahlberg playing
Is
Chris
he,
Cole,
His 90s self,
he looks so legitimately the part of a 90s alt rocker.
right?
Like he might as well be singing for Seven Mary 3 or something right
Or the
there.
Verve
like,
Pipe or something.
The Verve Pipe.
the verb.
So legit.
Freshman. But see, like, I don't remember that opening at all. I remember it starting in Pittsburgh. Like, I remember the porno
From your original watch.
Yeah. But like, I don't remember the documentary intro thing. Like, for some reason.
Yeah, I didn't remember it either. I thought that was kind of a cool way to set up the movie,
Yeah.
especially to have like a through line
Yep.
that they were able to use, throughout the movie
Yeah.
as to kind of go back to documentary interviews.
Yeah. It was just fucking,
Yeah.
it was great.
It was fun.
Did you guys notice the name? Well, the Regent. What they practice underneath the Regent, which is a porn theater.
Yeah.
Did you notice the movies that are on the marquee?
I noticed the second one. I didn't see the first one.
One of them was like
Das
Booty.
Booty and all that jizz.
all that
Oh,
jizz.
that jizz.
And then
It's in the
when the camera's panning through under the seats and shit while people are watching the porn in there,
Uh-huh.
Goes
there's
through,
just
a
like
vent.
cum Kleenexes all over the floor
Yeah.
and shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, I thought that was like fun, but that room they would hear that fucking band
Yeah. Yeah.
over that movie.
Well,
There's no way.
100%.
Well, yeah. I mean, unless it was really, really,
It wasn't.
And then we're introduced here to Blood Pollution,
Which,
as 3 real life musicians portraying some of the members.
yeah.
Guitarist Nick Catanese from Black Label Society,
Very cool.
drummer
Yeah.
Blas Elias from Slaughter, and
Yep.
then the bassist is Brian Vander Ark, who is actually the vocalist and guitarist of the Verve Pipe.
Speaking of the
Very
verb
cool.
pipe.
So we're going to
Yeah.
hear a little more about him later, actually.
Yes, we are. I was surprised Andy didn't pick that up. I was saying that as a reference, but
Oh.
the 2 actors obviously carry these scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
This
Which-
is obviously Mark Wahlberg and
Timothy
Timothy
Olyphant,
Olyphant.
which I had forgot he was in it. I
Me
was like,
too.
knew he
he's
was.
so fucking good.
Like you see his face, you're like, yeah, and you're like, oh wait, that is Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's weird.
But did
That movie
you
happened. It happened a couple of times in this movie. I
did you
think.
notice how poorly he pretended to play the guitar? Because he was just like,
It didn't bother me too much, just because I thought they did a good job of not really showing him play the guitar on close-up shots. Like even he was doing like the pinch harmonic,
Yeah.
doing the squeal that they were
Yeah.
arguing about, and
His face when he's showing,
Yes.
he's like,
totally
you're not
doing
doing
it.
that squeal right, and he's like,
Play it like that. Yeah. That's it. That's a ping, not a squeal, man.
Sounds just like the tape, man.
No, raunchier. Again, please. That was great. Thank you. From the top.
when he does the squeal,
Well,
like
it's
the
the
look
first
on his
one,
face,
and it
it's
is
so good.
and it's not right, and the rest of the band being like, it's fine, who cares? And he's like, no, do it like this, and then he actually nails it. I'm like, yeah, that's the squeal.
Yeah,
like it
that's like-
sounds,
it sounds fucking
it
awesome.
makes that riff better.
It does, but Timothy
So you
Olyphant's
need it.
face while he's doing the squeal,
I know, he
it makes the part.
He's being
like,
passive aggressive and like biting his bottom lip, like
like just
really
super
feeling
aggro
it
looking.
out.
Yeah, I
love
mean,
it.
like,
Play it like that.
yeah,
That's a ping, not a squeal.
like, but anyway, so I noticed like how he was just like when it came in through the vent, and then it just showed like there's an
Oh
overhead.
yeah,
of
I
him.
don't think I was watching.
Oh,
like
I watched his fingers like right away because I was like, "Damn, he's not fucking playing.
yeah, but he's an actor.
Yeah, I didn't
The other
realize-
ones
but
had
here's
the
the
real
thing.
musicians.
I didn't realize he was an actor
Here's
yet.
the thing: we're going to get to it later, but he looks legit when they're doing the show at the steel mill or whatever.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a couple of parts.
And there's also, obviously the rest of the band are real musicians, so they look. One of the things that I kind of paid attention to that through the whole movie was when you're watching, like when you're seeing Steel Dragon later when they're playing, they've got it lined up perfectly. You watch Jason Bonham. I mean, you see a shot. You're actually looking at a shot of Zach Wilde. Jason Bonham's behind him, playing the exact part that you're hearing.
Yep.
So they did a really good job of lining all that up. And the only actors, there was two actors in each band technically, and then the rest were real musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like kind of help carry the scenes, which
Yeah.
the actors did a lot of the scene carrying. Like,
Oh,
but
yeah.
some of the band members had to do a couple of
Well, I mean,
couple couple things here or there.
Yeah,
They did
Jason
all right.
Bonham pulls it off here pretty well, much later on. But
Do you guys have anything else while they're in the practice space?
No.
I was
Other
gonna-
than that P bass is fucking
There's-
sick.
Every bass in this movie is pretty
It's
sweet.
fucking so nice.
Um,
that red one with that,
Living the life I
the
was
gold pick
born
organ,
to
I think?
live.
In the studio?
it was like the off-white cream.
Okay. I remember in the
Like, it was-
studio
it was
when
the- it
he's
was the-
laying
it-
down, but we'll get into all that.
Yeah.
So like it cuts from here to him like back at his parents' house. He's putting on the makeup and shit in the morning. You're just seeing like, I like a lot of little stereotypes of like he's living life as an 80s rocker and shit. He's like putting on all this makeup, and then when he goes back into his room to stand next to the life-size cutout of Bobby Beers, the singer of Steel Dragon, and then that like kid in there. At first, I thought it was maybe a little brother. It still could be, but no,
his mom's running a daycare.
His mom's running a daycare, and I found that out this time.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh.
I never knew
so
that
I don't
before
know
either.
which people are siblings, which ones are their babies. But either way, like he's in there messing with like he has a valuable, rare printing of his favorite band's record, and it's just like on the floor with the rest of his records.
I would have
got to put that one up
pissed.
somewhere.
No, in
At least the kid didn't trash it.
1985 or 84, people didn't care about
No.
rare records. and shit.
That one was signed.
It was signed and it had the bass player's name misspelled, so it was one of the early pressings, original black cover. So he makes a reference that he goes, I could sell this for a lot of money.
Yeah.
So he makes a reference that it is a rare, valuable version of his
I would have
favorite
been
band's
pissed
record.
about that. Like, but if it was like, fucking Frampton Comes Alive, that came in the mail with samples of Tide. So
Yeah.
he could have just played with that one.
But we've got the guys in the car, and we hear our first Steel Dragon song.
Yeah.
Living the life I was born to live.
It's good energy.
Giving it all I've got to give.
Would you notice the car?
It
It's
kind of
the
looks like the
Mirth
Mirthmobile a
Mobile.
little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's just not a station wagon, but
Yeah.
it's light blue with flames.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, the Mirthmobile is not a station wagon; it's a Pinto.
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna say,
true,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
know what I mean, like the fucking fastback.
I mean, if
But-
you want to wax intellectual about the Mirthmobile,
I didn't, and I don't. So I do. I like how it's showing him like rocking in the car. And there's subtle ways. Like for instance, the opening practice space shot was just to show how serious his character takes the music of Steel Dragon.
Yes,
so you
yes.
just basically see him correct his bandmates, play it properly, all that shit. And this, like the way it sets up where he's singing and shit in the car, and then when it kind of zooms out, you see his bandmates are push starting the car. They're pushing it. So
Yeah.
because it's kind of a shitty car. And
Oh yeah.
then when he pulls up next to those construction workers, and you almost feel like there's tension. Like
Oh yeah.
they're gonna be like call him names or something, and they just kind of give him like what, like a
And
metal
he's
sign
like-
or something. And he's like
staring at him like a
just singing the song.
singing the song at him,
Yeah.
and the dude just like staring at him, and then he finally just like dude has a cig in his mouth and just kind of stares, and then he just goes.
Yeah, just gives it the metal sign. Like,
The
cool.
metal sign. I was like, "This is so good. I love that interaction."
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. There's so much fun in
Well,
that
I
scene.
said that's what I said. Like that whole opening credits scene, it was fucking great. Like it really pulled you into the movie a little bit more. Like kind of showed you what he's ready to Yeah.
So,
they show up at the Steel Dragon.
well, not quite yet.
Okay,
On the
okay.
way to the Steel Dragon show,
You got another one.
they stop in to pick up Chris's girlfriend Emily.
Rachel, yeah.
She's wearing jeans and a long black leather jacket, and then Rob's girlfriend Marcy, who's referenced later in the movie, wearing a red snakeskin pattern pants. When they get to the arena, Marcy is not seen getting out of the car in the audience with the rest of the group or outside afterwards either, and never seen again for the rest of the movie. But is actually mentioned.
well, I have
That is not true.
that scene you just described was not in the movie I watched. You watched your DVD, didn't you? Then I never saw him go pick up the girlfriends.
Oh, I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
him. I saw him do that.
Oh,
It's in that montage
I watched,
when they're driving.
Oh,
It's
okay,
right
maybe-
after
maybe
the,
it is, 'cause it's
yeah,
in the
it's
montage.
right after the construction workers.
okay.
You see
All right, I
Marcy-
might have saw it then.
You see Marcy briefly, wherever you got that trivia from, you see Marcy briefly at the very end of the movie.
I think
Briefly.
you might be right.
Where?
In the coffee shop.
Coffee shop. She's roommates with Emily.
How do you know that you see Marcy?
Because I saw her the first scene, and I saw her again at the last scene.
Well, we'll get there at that time then.
She was like barely on the right
Yeah,
side.
we'll
of the
get
screen.
there. So like they show up now at that Steel Dragon show, and then I'm only just going to mention it because these characters kind of play a role in the an understated role in the way this movie develops and goes forward, which is Nina and Samantha.
Yes.
These-
Oh yeah,
the two
girls.
groupies that are just there,
Yep.
kind of whatever. They are such side characters that keep popping up, but they
Without
are
them, this movie
delete-
does not exist.
Right.
Yeah, kind of like
I know,
they're
it's kind of
supernatural or something. They just kind
low
of
key
keep popping
homage
up.
to the
Yeah.
groupies that
Yeah.
make things happen.
So they're at the show, and we actually see Steel Dragon now. Okay.
Yes.
Steel
Jason
Dragon.
Bourne.
Steel Dragon. Again, we've discussed it. Has 3 real life musicians portraying some members: ex-Dawkins and current Foreigner bassist Jeff Pilson, Black Label Society founder and guitar player, and Ozzy Osbourne lead guitarist Zach Wilde,
Mhm.
ex-Foreigner and Black Country Communion drummer Jason Bonham, who is also the son of late John Bonham, drummer of Led Zeppelin.
Mhm.
And then we have Dominic West, and the guy who played Bobby Beers is what's his name? What's his name?
Oh, I got it right here.
Jason Fleming.
Yep.
Which this show is fucking rad.
Yeah.
Like they're playing these songs. The band looks like they've got it lined up. The fucking guys they're energetic on stage. It's really good show. And there's a part where he stops and he's talking about, this girl,
Kim.
yeah, or whatever. And then he's like,
Rip my heart out and put it in a
Yeah.
bloody blender.
but Chris says it for him.
Yes.
And put it through a bloody blender.
Yeah.
That's right. Put it through a bloody blender. And then Chris singing along with the band from the crowd is like so good. Like,
Yeah.
just-
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Well, because
The
like
song makes me wanna what? Stand up and shout.
and then, like he out screams him.
Yeah. Every note,
he has-
note for note. And it's so funny that him and his crew got like right up on the stage.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
definitely weren't the first ones in there,
Nope.
but they got right up on there. And, how fortuitous. Because then after that exchange where, he's watching the concert, he kind of looks over his shoulder and sees, who is it but Nina and Samantha getting backstage passes.
From Matt's,
From
So
that.
this
who
is
we
how-
haven't been properly introduced to yet.
No, he's like obviously like kind of the main roadie.
I thought he was their manager. Those are managers.
Yeah, he's
If anything, he'd be their tour
He's not their
manager.
manager. He's their tour manager. He's like
Yeah.
their
Okay.
stage manager, tour manager.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's like kind of high up on the tour as far as making shit happen. And he's handing out what we find out to be pussy passes.
Pussy passes. P stands for personal friend of the band. you know?
Personal friend of the band.
What's P stand for?
Oh man! But he's handing those out, and he's like, "Hey, can I get one of those? It's not without a sex change and
Yeah.
a boob job
I've
or some
got,
shit."
I've got.
Hey, Chris.
Hi. Think maybe I could have one of those?
Not without a blowjob and a sex change, pal. But have a nice day. Ciao. Come on, John. It's mine.
I just want to. This is something that annoys me throughout this movie that happens multiple times. But they are literally in the pit, and Chris is able to just walk right over to those girls and Matt's, no problem. Like there's a gap in there, and he's just able to. Hey, can I get one of those? I was just at a show last night that did not have as much equipment as they have there, and it was like, hey.
I predicted this because this should be the latter run. I was like, well, obviously Andy's going to talk about any conversation that happens at a concert and how that's not realistic. And let me tell you, pre-warning, there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
There's ones that are even worse and more egregious than this.
Yes.
Like, for instance, bands talking at about this volume while on stage.
Yep.
It happens in this movie more than once. Also, I think everyone understands there's no fucking way that's real.
I know.
They would have to be in each other's ears screaming and being like, what?
Yep. Yeah. So I'm fun. I knew that if I brought it up, you'd probably be like, I knew you were going to bring it up. So
It's
I
funny
knew
though,
that you
because
do.
most movies that involve live music,
That always happens.
they don't do it the right way. It's done just like this movie is.
Yeah.
Okay, so they come out of the show.
Yeah.
And we are introduced to the Black Babylon tribute band,
Which is the dumb name.
This
Which
sets it up
is
for real great comedy.
Bradley, played by Stephen Jenkins, the singer of Third Eye Blind.
Wish you would step out from that ledge, my friend, dude.
My friend, dude.
My friend did.
That's a shout out to Drew.
So I love the feud between Blood Pollution and Black Babylon. You know, they get into a brawl.
It reminded me of Anchorman.
And the way Chris schools Bradley on all the Bobby Beers gear and all the facts about the band.
Yeah.
Which he just totally just destroys him in that. And then the two bands, each with the 5-on-5, there's basically two of the same guy.
Yes.
Of every character. And they start fighting with each other. And it's hilarious because each guy fights his
Their own guy.
yeah.
Which
counterpart in
doppelganger.
the other.
Yes, you did. Did they not rock?
They totally rocked.
Guys.
Come on.
Oh, I thought he was a little pussy. Look who's here. Well, if it isn't Yoko Ono and Fag 5.
What do you think you're doing?
Making sure nobody gets scammed into seeing some cut-rate copy band.
Cut-rate copy band? This dude can't even tune his own guitar.
Yeah, and you could always use a little work on your lip sync.
I don't lip sync, asshole.
You're doing everyone a favor if you did, ass burn.
You know, you could at least get the outfit right. I mean, your boots are from the Wasted Tour, and this is just like a cheap imitation of the Twisted jacket.
You are so fully wrong. Cocksmoker. This is official issue. The actual vest Bobby wore on the Twisted Tour. My dad bought it from someone who knows Dragon's drum set.
Look, I hate to break it to you, but your dad got ripped. First of all, the lapels are supposed to be blue. There's no green in the embroidery. As a matter of fact, can anybody here honestly say that they've ever seen Bobby Beers with a jacket with red lapels?
No, Chris, I can't.
I don't think so.
Hey, maybe you can make me some pants like his. Or did your girlfriend already rip out the seats in the Dodge?
Oh, no, I could make you a pair of those. But first you gotta tell me what you shove in there to make people think you're a guy.
Oh, this is all me, baby.
Oh, yeah, you and a couple ballet slippers.
You want a piece of my package?
No, I'm good.
You want to see how real man's?
Hey, don't touch her, man.
Hey, just let go of it again. Just let go of my
Oh yeah, and so then
so it shows like what you can almost assume is the next day, but it's morning time, and all of a sudden, Chris Cole is being woken up by a cop poking at him with a nightstick in his own bedroom.
Matthew Glave always plays the asshole.
Get out of here, pig!
Yeah,
or whatever.
He was born to play
jumps
this
on
role.
He was, and then he jumps on the cop's fucking back, and he's like got him in a rear naked choke, brings him on the ground, and all of a sudden the cop goes, "Mom!" And then you find out, oh shit, the cop is his older brother.
Yeah.
And this is hilarious because
when he yells for mom,
that
that's the
are
best
like
part.
acting like they're children.
Oh,
And it's- and it's fucking funny.
So then they go downstairs and they're having we're introduced for the first time. We've seen Chris's mom Tess already, but Chris's dad Joe Sr. Because his brother's Joe Jr. They're talking about the songs that how was the show?
How was the show? Yeah,
and his dad is like a Steel
he's a
Dragon
fan.
fan.
Yeah, he's
too.
a fan too.
I love his parents.
That's what I said.
They are
on
both
here.
fucking cool as shit.
Oh, they're supportive.
His mom's a sweetheart, and later I will say it again. They are so supportive. Like when
that's exactly
they come to
what
his
I said.
shows and they're just fucking super awesome.
But I do have
the,
one.
the whole interaction between what?
Oh, no, that's
The whole interaction between Chris and Joe at breakfast.
Yes, I was gonna say that's why I'm like paused out of my screen.
He's like, don't you think and I don't have the exact quote right here until a certain point. He's like, don't you think
it's just a little bit twisted that you're still living at home
on.
and stealing Ma's makeup?
Who the hell's Barry Grant's
I
tomb?
mean, Christ, Dad, how much longer are you going to put up with this bullshit?
That's what I thought.
Isn't a rock star fantasy thing something you're supposed to grow out of, like, around 14?
Oh, maybe if I get really lucky, I'll get to grow up and listen to Air Supply and wear jackboots. Like you.
What's wrong with Air Supply?
Nothing if you're the cop from the Village People.
Good one. You know what the sickest thing is about you, little man? The sickest thing about you is that you don't have any fantasies of your own. You fantasize about being somebody else, wearing somebody else's clothes, singing somebody else's songs. It's pathetic.
you just fantasize about living somebody else's life?
Yeah. Oh, dude, like everybody's
somebody
hitting it
else's
hard
clothes.
coming up here. He's the first one, but everybody's hitting it hard. It's like that's not your life. You're not living your life.
Oh yeah, they kind of put that on like that. Even though he's obsessed, that his obsession is going to get him nowhere. And you can be a fan of this band, but if you're going to be into music, you're going to have to like do your own thing. But he's like, no, I'm doing Dragon tunes.
Yeah,
and it's it's just the odds are stacked against him.
Yeah,
like there's already a Steel Dragon, there's already a Bobby Beers.
Exactly.
So where do you fit in?
Yeah,
and their advice is sound.
Yeah, I know.
Such a goddamn fluke.
Yes, it's the thing. Like the people saying things to him, they are not wrong. Is what all I'm saying. Like they are not wrong on a lot of this.
Yeah.
No, and he proves the what am I going for here? The rare opportunity or the rare chance.
He beat the odds.
There
Long
still is,
shot.
yeah, he beat the odds. There's still it's a long shot, but it's possible.
Yeah.
So the next thing I have is when he goes to work.
Yes.
And I have this quote down.
Wait,
I do too. If you want to take it
before the quote, did you catch what song was being played?
Oh no, but this is loaded with like I imagine they spent a lot of money on the music.
Culture
they put in
Club.
this stuff.
It was Culture Club.
I remember that on there, but there's so
was
many.
it or was it Wham?
No, it was Culture Club. It was Boy George.
Wham is also
it wasn't Come a Chameleon. It was their other big.
Do you really want to hurt me?
That's a banger.
Yeah.
Do you really want to make me cry? Do you really want to hurt me?
No, the natural spot was that make me cry. Just then you're out. You're just it's good. It's done. You don't need to repeat the phrase.
Oh, he goes higher.
Yeah.
It's true. So you're more on the melody. I was more on the phrase. I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
The melody needs to resolve, but the phrase was good there. But so yeah, he's at work.
You can edit that out, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
Oh man, I fucking cut your dick off,
Yeah.
bro.
Thanks for stepping on my dick. Okay, so you got the quote of the copy machine? Is that what you're talking about?
He's at the and he goes, "Here's the procedure."
I'm not available. I give you a simple 1, 2, 3 procedure. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3. Pop that down. Push this. You pull back on this lever to free up the jam, and that will allow you to access the. Is there something wrong?
Is that mascara?
I'm in a band.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Look, can you follow the simple 1, 2, 3
1, 2, 3.
without sticking a pen in there? Okay, good.
In there.
Thank you.
So good.
He's like, "Thank you very much. Bye bye."
A couple things about that interaction. Like, I love that the dude, when he says, "I'm in a band," and the guy goes,
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's just a thing. Everybody knows that musicians wear makeup, I guess, which
Whatever. 85. He's like, okay, his hair's in a
85.
ponytail. He's like, okay, it's like
but
one of those rockers.
the way he goes, "Can you follow the simple 1, 2, 3?" And then he goes, "Without sticking a pen in there."
Yes.
The way he says "without sticking a pen in there," I fucking every time I laugh my ass off.
It
so
is
good.
great. It just shows this like he's good at his job, but he doesn't necessarily want to be there. It's just great.
Yeah.
Then it cuts straight to the
The
church
choir?
choir, which didn't necessarily belong in the movie at all.
No,
There's
that's
nothing
so
about
funny.
Why are him and Emily? This is a volunteer thing. This is like, why are you guys in the church choir?
Yeah, why are you heathen rockers in the church choir?
You practice beneath a porn theater for fucking Steel Dragon, this metal band that throws up
hallelujah.
so ridiculous.
It's so dumb, but I understand. I
And his
understand what.
face.
Yeah, like I hate the whole
sorry.
the singer feeling it moments. I fucking hate those.
He does hit it like
It's
a
like
nice
in American
Yes,
harmony, though. It's a nice
was
harmony.
Do.
What was that? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was feeling. No, that's great, Oz.
Oh
but
my
that's-
God,
you're gay. But
You've been singing that shit all week, man.
but that felt like I hate that. But I understand why they have that in there. It's
After the church choir thing,
yeah.
We see Emily and Chris sitting in a dimly lit room with hardly any clothes on, and they're getting ready to pierce his nipple.
Yeah, wasn't
Because
there a
Bobby
song in
Beers
that one
did it.
too?
Huh?
Wasn't there a song in that scene like a big,
AC/DC?
I was gonna say, yeah, they had like a lot of big bangers. They weren't like some B-sides. These were like
Yeah,
big, huge tracks.
Yeah,
it must have paid up.
It was one of the first. Is one of the. Excuse me.
You got that?
Yeah, I almost burped. I burped. Anyways, so it was one of those. I think it was one of the AC/DC songs from like the very first one after Bon Scott died. Can't think of it, but it wasn't a big one, but you could tell it was.
The point of this scene is like, I'm like, why am I surprised at this? But it is surprising to me how close up they show the piercing of the nipple.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen in any movie, even with like sex scenes and stuff, I've never seen up close of a nipple piercing. Like you see the needle go through it and everything, which I was I was just surprised at that they
Okay.
that wasn't a real nipple.
I thought maybe
it absolutely was.
That was makeup. That was practical effects, dude. That wasn't a real person's nipple. They're not going to do that.
I don't know. He's gonna fucking find out. Andy, you look into that because yes, in the scene, it kind of shows a little more of the loving and supportive side, which has come up several times already of Emily. the band's manager and his girlfriend. She is objectively a badass girlfriend for Chris Cole.
Oh yeah,
he's like ride or die for him. She sees him in his like potential as even bigger than her, which these things are made clear.
That character is an angel.
But we're seeing their closeness, but also again, it's that hey, Bobby Beers did it, and so yeah, I need to do it too. Yeah. So it's just it has to happen.
It was a real person, but it wasn't his. So it was a body double. Okay.
Told you.
Okay. Not a practical. Okay.
All right.
So you were wrong.
So
That's
I was
insane.
wrong. You're also the one that said
look into the camera and tell them you were wrong.
You're also the one that said they really drink beer, like real beer in movies. They never do.
Oh, I wouldn't say that they never do.
They never do.
We're going to the blood pollution show now.
Yeah, but of course, because it is Pittsburgh, you have to have a steel mill.
But doesn't it look just like Sloss Furnaces?
Dude, that's my next note.
I knew you were going to fucking notice it.
It looks like Sloss Furnace.
So I was like, I've actually played a show like this
at Furnace Fest, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But all right. So
yeah, we're at the show. Looks like Furnace Fest, kind of.
Yeah.
So
wait, does any tribute band actually pull that kind of crowd? That's, I mean, like, it's hard.
Yeah,
they
do.
Well, this is a tribute band
of a current working band
that just played in town 10 days ago.
Exactly.
And there is another working tribute band of Steel Dragon in this area.
Yeah.
We know that. There's at
Pittsburgh
least two.
loves Steel Dragon and all their tributes.
Yeah. And I think these were a lot of steel workers that work there that are supporting the show, because I think wasn't like this. Doesn't his dad work here? And that's kind of how the connection.
Like, his dad works at the steel mill.
Yeah. And I think they're all like supporters of the local kid. You know, they know his dad. So it's a lot of the steel workers and their families, and then Steel Dragon fans.
Yeah.
There's not the internet. These people don't have a shit ton to do. They want to go out.
No, I get that, but I mean, like you just said, like 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, the actual band came through. So most of these people who are fans probably went to that show.
Yeah.
So would they go and see it again?
Probably, if they're good, which they are. Clearly, they're good, and it's probably cheap.
Okay, all right.
It's something to do on a fucking Friday night. You know what I mean?
He's been flying the shit out of the show.
Yeah. So the thing that I noticed next was before the show starts, they're in the green room, and Ricky, who is the bass player, he goes, "Do I got too much foundation on?" And then Rob goes, "Dude, I just
keep putting this shit on until I want to fuck myself."
Hey, Rob, you wearing underwear?
No.
Rob, you're wearing.
I know the drill. No panties.
Rob.
No.
Rob, get up.
I am not freezing my balls off.
Just stand up
I'm not
and
taking
drop
it
it.
I'm not taking it off.
Rob, what?
Oh, if you want to take them off, take them off. I am not taking my.
You're a woman then, and the balls.
She could do that to me. I don't mind. So this is where I put my note. Blas Elias. He has also done a run in the Blue Man Group down in Vegas, and he was also in the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
really.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
Huh.
A little bit of trivia.
Yeah,
there.
you know what? And that makes sense because there are several members of Slaughter in the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Yeah.
That
Oh,
they
okay.
fuck. If you've not seen it, it is an experience, guys. You should go.
Yeah,
and
I've
see
always
it.
wanted to go because they always play here around Christmas, and I'm
It's
just
always
like,
good.
Yeah, I just. This is another moment where the show's about to start, and he's talking about, I think he's giving a shout out to people that are supportive. Or they show his parents, and they're just like cheering. They're back by the front of house booth, and they go in to stand up and shout, and the drummer's doing like those stick twirls.
Yeah,
those like obnoxious stick twirls.
Oh yeah,
I laughed at that.
Yeah, I have one from his shout outs. The one part of it, he shouts out the steel company and shit before he's changed his. He's still speaking in his normal accent because he changes his accent when the show officially starts, which is great.
Yeah.
And he goes, and special thanks to my brother Joe, who gave me my first Dragon record because he hated it.
Yeah.
And to my parents because they let me play it as loud as I wanted. And then the show's parents like, that's my boy. And he goes, because they rock. I just thought that was fucking hilarious. And then that's when he gets into his accent. No, this next tune. It's so fucking cool. Except for he does like when he goes bloody blender. He goes blah e. He really leans into it.
Yeah,
It just sounds super Americanized.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was funny because it's obvious that it's like a fake.
Oh man, and he goes in and out of it all the time. It's just
Yeah, and he changes
we'll
it
get
to
later.
this one's for Emily who ripped my heart out.
Yeah.
Through a bloody blender.
Yeah.
She makes me want to do what? Stand up and shout.
And then, we go through, they're playing, and then Chris and Rob start arguing.
Yeah, because
the whole thing
solos.
about, like, you're taking this shit too seriously. He's like, that's because the music deserves to be taken seriously, yada, yada. And it escalates. Chris unplugs Rob's guitar.
There we go.
And then Rob yells to the tech, plug that fucker back in.
And he takes his beer bottle and uses it as a slide.
He's like doing big scratches. It's so sick. That actually sounds fucking rad, though, over the song.
Yeah, Rob kind of has a point where he's like, you're taking this too serious,
No
man.
shit, yeah.
And it just is like, he goes, it deserves to be taken serious. And if you don't take it serious, you don't deserve to play it and all this. You're like, dude, you're borderline cult for Steel Dragon, bro.
No shit. And
but he's also kind of right that,
That's
like,
what I don't know. I don't
if you're
necessarily
gonna play
disagree
the
with that.
songs the right way.
Yeah, I don't disagree
like,
with him.
Don't improv. Like, we all have been doing this. But I just mean where he pushes it. This is, because after this is when, it shows him show up to band practice again with Emily. Like,
and you can hear a song. You can hear that they're playing downstairs.
Yeah.
More importantly, this is Das Booty.
We are
being shown that night.
Generation.
That song's sick. So he walks downstairs.
I have a lot of this quote. If you don't.
I have the quote.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Go.
I have the whole thing. Bradley from Black Babylon is singing with the band.
Yeah.
You made your point. Get him out now.
Dude, only one leaving is you.
Hey, Chris, see these? This new PA he brought with him. Oh, and that's the new mixing board he brought with him, too.
Have you heard the voice he's brought with him?
Sit and spin.
Dude, just relax. Hear our originals, because we're tired of just being a cover band.
We are not a cover band. We're a tribute band.
No, dude. We are a cover band. The problem is, we've been covering the tunes. You think you're in goddamn Steel Dragon. I love you, man, but you're mental. You really are. You need to get a grip on reality, man. You don't know where Bobby Beers ends, and you begin.
Yeah, I'm mental. I'm only mental because I don't want to be in some cheesy bar band that butchers the music people came to hear just to trap men to listen to your crappy originals.
Crappy original?
Yeah.
Well, I think Hole and a Half kicks ass. I'm proud of shit to have written it.
I guess that's why we got so many requests for it.
Don't make me feel like shit just because you're too scared to write your own songs. Chris, seriously, wouldn't you rather fail as yourself than succeed as some Bobby Beers clone?
Well, yeah, well, Rob, maybe you can write me a song about why in the hell I would ever want to do that.
All right, you're gone, man. Just go.
I thought that shit was funny.
It was so overly dramatic. But again,
They all
Timothy
start-
Oliphant is not too far off. He is not wrong.
But then when he was like, why would everyone do that? They'll start laughing. And he goes, what's so fucking funny? And babe, come on, let's go. And he goes, fine. This is my mic stand, and I'm taking it. These are my cables.
I don't
He's
need
like,
anything else.
Okay, guys.
Bradley goes, I'll get you guys some new ones.
New cables.
I just
don't think
need
I'm coming
this.
back. I don't. Well, that's because I'm not. Good. I'm serious. If I leave, I'm not coming back. You said that.
Already.
Shut up, Bradley. Last time, Emily. If you still want to manage this, then it's okay with us.
Yeah.
And she says, Rob, I'm a businesswoman. And rule number one is this business is you go where the talent is. And all the fucking talent that was in this band has just left the room.
Now, I get what she's saying.
Yep.
He has a special voice.
Yep.
But the band's pretty good.
Yeah.
She's not gonna turn her back on her boyfriend and stay with
No,
her.
she's right. She's right.
Yeah.
Situationally, she's
Yeah.
right. But
Even if
specifically we're getting on all the talent. I get that he's pretty marketable. I get it.
Yeah. But the
Band's
band is solid.
They're good.
And
Don't
well,
fucking
he
shit
does
on
have a nice fucking 6-pack. Like girls love the 6-pack. So,
But they go out and they're in the car and they're talking about, and she says, maybe this is a sign you should like write your own music. And he goes, why? To be just another clown with a guitar trying to get somebody to pay attention to me? No way. And she's like, the first time I ever saw you, I knew that guy's going places. He's got it. He has it.
Absolutely. Like, you remember that song you wrote for me on my 15th birthday? And he's like, no.
This is love, I know.
Yes. Well, she's credited to have written This Is Love, I Know, I think, in the credits. I think I saw that somewhere. I was like, what? What? Jennifer Aniston? So it's the little song she sings. So it must have been something she ad-libbed. It's like, there's a song and you get credit for it. You just wrote a song.
There you
I
go.
don't know. But either way, it kind of paints that they've been together since they were
they're
15. So it's like, she's been ride or die, but she does make that point of like, I knew there was something about you that you're going to make it. Like, you're something special.
We ready for scene 2?
I think so. Stay on target.
Scene 2. One day, Chris receives an unexpected phone call from Steel Dragon's founder and rhythm guitarist, Kurt Cuddy and is offered an audition for the band. Two of Blood Pollution's groupies, Nina and Samantha, have recently become Steel Dragon groupies. They managed to show Kirk a videotape of one of Blood Pollution's concerts. After hanging up on Kirk once, thinking he's being pranked by Rob, Chris ecstatically agrees. Chris and Emily immediately hop on a plane to Los Angeles. At the Steel Dragon studio, Chris meets the band and witnesses them fire Bobby Beers. Chris gets his first ugly peek behind the curtain and gives an outstanding performance of a Steel Dragon hit, We All Die Young. Chris joins the band as their new singer, adopting the name Izzy. A montage of photo shoots and press announcements ensue. Following a successful debut concert with Steel Dragon, Izzy and Emily are inducted into the rock and roll lifestyle with a drug-fueled party that ends with presumably a record-breaking orgy, naked people everywhere, chicks with dicks, no memories, no questions asked. Sounds like rock and roll in the 80s.
Goddamn right.
Goddamn right.
The band then begins their tour. Izzy gets on the tour bus while Emily rides with the other wives and girlfriends, following in a limo. Izzy, Emily, and the band tour like this for over a year. Izzy and Emily are settling into their newfound fame and fortune, but the schedule is really getting to grind on Emily. Emily pulls Izzy aside and explains that she is leaving the tour to start a coffee shop with her roommate Marcy in Seattle. Izzy is disappointed, but he ultimately understands. The two agree to reconnect when Izzy's tour comes through Seattle.
My favorite color is rainbow.
That was great.
Yeah, my favorite color is rainbow. Really? Mine's mauve. I've always loved this moment because it's hilarious, but it also shows a soft side of Kirk Cuddy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
very cool the way he just like knows that he's like calling some guy at home.
Yeah, at home.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah.
But yeah, he's gonna react with this girl. He's gonna have a conversation with this toddler that's answering the phone.
I love it.
But
But
then when they got Chris' phone and he takes it, he's like, hello. And they're like,
Chris?
Yeah?
Is that Chris Cole?
Who is this?
This is Kurt Cuddy.
Ricky, you know your English accent is almost as lame as your guitar playing?
Well, I can't do much about the accent. What do you suggest to do about my playing?
Who is this?
I've told you, it's Kurt Cuddy. Playing a band called Steel Dragon. Maybe you've heard of us.
All right, if this is Kurt Cuddy, and what'd you used to call your third wife?
Third wife? We don't talk about that old slag, do we? All right, I called her Sugar Bum. I called the second wife as well, which is why the third wife left me. So now, just to keep things nice and simple, I affectionately refer to all ladies as Totty. Is that enough information for you?
Oh my God, this is unbelievable. Hey, I was so sorry to hear about your dog, man.
yeah. It's like, yeah, I sent flowers.
yeah, I sent flowers. I never got a response back. I know you guys are so busy. Like, how does he know about this shit? Like,
because he's a
there's
super
no internet.
fan.
There's no internet yet. Like,
But it
it's
probably came out
Can we
in
cut
an
through all
interview.
the "This Is Your Life" crap and on
Probably
to the business?
Kurt Loder probably told him.
Oh, that's right, Kurt Loder.
That's
Kurt,
how
he's
we
like
found out
70.
everything. you
He's
know?
like 70.
He's closer to 80.
My God, we are old as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the one who broke through and told us about Kurt Cobain and all that shit.
So they get on the plane, and he says, "Tell no one about this." He immediately calls Emily.
Right. Well,
and
I
he
get
trades in the ticket to get a ticket for both of them.
Yeah, first class ticket for two coach.
And then they land, and Tanya is there to pick them up. And there's the introductions, and then they get in the limo.
Yes.
And, okay.
Tanya goes, "Are those your breasts?" And Emily goes, "I'm sorry, what?" And
Your
Tanya
breasts.
says, "Your breasts. Are they yours?" I don't remember. They're quite sensational. I just love your breasts. Are they yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is where the movie
And
Tanya's
Tanya
character
is fucking hot.
Yeah.
Okay, but Tanya's character, like, we're already seeing it. She is the cartoonish version of what people think a quote rock star like is. They surround themselves with these women that will just ask people about their tits and the drug fueled orgies, all of it. Or there's a little bit of stereotype I feel like kind of shoehorned in.
Yes.
In this scene, which we're not quite to those parts, but just the introduction of Tanya, like already being like, welcome to the way we do it. Now you're in. This is the music industry. And
What
it's
is it again?
not
Tanya?
really-
Tanya.
But did you guys catch the song that started fucking playing?
No.
It was Beach Boys. Which
It wasn't the Beach Boys. It was a cover.
No, I know. I fucking heard it. I was like, ooh, Beach Boys. And then you get that shitty David Lee Roth cover version of it.
West Coast girls are hip. I really dig those styles they wear.
Hey, I'm not opposed to some David Lee Roth.
Oh, fuck David Lee Roth.
No.
You guys,
Anyway, so we're at the
Okay, so she just asked her about her tits and everything like that.
yeah, and then she does. This is the
when the limo pulls outside of this mansion, which I'm assuming this is Kirk's house with a studio built in. Doesn't
I'm
it
assuming,
feel?
yeah, this is what I'm
it's
assuming.
his home studio. It's
Feels
his house,
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And they make the records there, but with the gates and are you famous? You
Yeah.
know, like all that
Not
sort of
yet,
shit.
but
He's nah. He's like, you should be.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
you
you get us in. I'm just trying to get in myself.
the song that's playing, Bon Jovi, "Living on a Prayer."
Yep.
Fucking
And
banger.
It's another like big where I'm like, they must have paid for this fucking soundtrack.
Dude,
for
they
sure.
did. We got them all. I got them all in here.
But like, so when they're in there, it's kind of like they're being walked through this memorabilia museum of Steel Dragon stuff, like outfits from tours, guitars from certain records and tours, and they're like, wow, and they know all this shit.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the Flying V. They
the
fucking
1958
are
Flying V
admiring.
with the rosewood fingerboard.
Yeah,
It
they
wasn't
treat it like
rosewood.
a rosewood. No, he goes, look, the fingerboards are rosewood. Like it's
Isn't that the most common?
yeah, it's
type
one of absolutely, very very
Right
common.
there, bud. Got it
Very
right there.
common.
But
Very common. Like I
Not
cannot express it.
Not something to point out unless that
Yeah.
guitar
Not
was
at all.
made
Yeah.
mostly with another type. And
With
Yeah.
a maple neck or something that would be like these lighter colors.
did you guys recognize that entryway?
No.
That's Chilton Academy from the Gilmore Girls.
Why the fuck would I know that?
The only reason why I knew that was because it came up on the trivia on the Amazon.
The only reason I know that is because, like one time it just started playing after the show. I was watching Rambo or some manly shit.
Yeah.
And then it just fucking started playing. I woke up and
Yeah, no.
I accidentally, but it's. Okay.
Anyways,
Well,
so
Dynamite dropped it.
you said that you did bring up the studded vest. I think that is the tribute to Rob Halford in this movie because that was in the
little cap.
Yeah, the little cap. That is the
Oh, I
Rob
could see that.
Halford staple on
Yeah.
most of his stuff.
Yep.
The leather and studs.
He's a leather daddy for sure.
He is a leather daddy. He
Okay.
was gay, and they comes up here.
Yeah. We'll get there. So
that's very true. You're right.
So the dude, they walk in and there's a dude that's already in the booth, like singing, like trying out.
Yeah.
Did you guys? You know who that is?
Yes.
He looks. I didn't see.
He is the singer of what's the Dragon Force band?
No, they're not Dragon Force.
No, but they became
they're not like Dragon Force either. Dragon Force is like power metal.
Yeah, didn't they become? What's the band I'm thinking of?
Steel Panther is
Steel Panther.
So this
is
was Ralph Sands, aka Michael Starr of Steel Panther. Steel Panther they sound like a hair metal band. They're not like a power metal band.
I know that, but I'm telling you, I think the Dragon Force guys joined Steel Panther. I think they changed
Steel
their
Panther,
name.
I think, has been always the same dudes.
Yeah,
I think Steel Panther is Metal Shop.
That's exact. And
okay,
I'm going there.
I'm crossing.
I'm going there.
Sorry,
You
I'm
crossed
crossing
the
the two.
streams.
So-
I knew it was somebody. I'm like,
yeah, Steel
but I was
Panther.
crossing it.
And when he walks by Emily and Chris, he like walks really funny.
Yeah.
And he turns around and looks at him. He just walks like a Boogan metal dude.
The metal singer of Metal Shop walks in out.
It's Steel Panther. Yeah.
Yeah. And and then he comes in.
Well,
and
it's Matt's the road manager. He actually gets to meet right there. And
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I saw you in Pittsburgh.
You gave everybody a backstage pass, but me. Hey, from the looks of it, you got a good reason, right?
Exactly.
He's just such a scumbag, and I
And then it's
love
like,
him.
yeah,
I love him.
we saw a tape of you singing from Nina and Samantha over there, and they're sitting on
Hi,
the
Chris.
like hi, and they're just sitting in the couch of the
Yeah.
studio. So they're like really tied up in close. I think with Kirk.
Yeah.
if I were to guess. And they're just then they're like, is that voice we heard on this tape really yours? And all of a sudden that Bobby walks in.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
he's-
Of course he walks in.
Suckers.
Well, it's so movie magic. He walks in while Chris is there trying out, and we have the exact same thing happen as happened before. But do you have the quotes for it all?
You talking about like I've got some quotes
I've got a
from
lot of the dialogue, but
Yeah.
it's more what this scene does to our character Chris Cole.
Yes.
Is the best.
Well, he gets to watch his
Yes.
idol
Yes.
get fired from the band.
Right.
and
of
the
course.
Which is wild.
And then the circumstances as they reveal themselves to
Yeah,
him
yeah.
being like, no, what? You
It's
know
the
what I mean?
exact same
So
fucking thing.
I've got the gay thing here. If you guys want me to run with the quote,
Yes, please.
there's plenty that leads up to this, but he goes, it's because I'm gay. Bobby Beer says it's because I'm gay. He says,
I'm gay, isn't it? You're gay? No. I got both my nipples pierced, bought a house in Morocco because I'm John fucking Wayne. Have you ever listened to the lyrics of stand-up, Did you really think that Kim was a girl? Kim was a guy? Yeah, Kim was a guy. He also happens to be my lover.
Dude,
so funny.
It's so good.
because
But then they just say, no, man, you don't turn up for the recording sessions. You miss half the gigs. And when you did a show, and he's like, I am Steel Dragon, and starts to get all that thing. Without me, you're nothing.
We'll see.
You'd be playing for coppers in the tube without me.
Yes, I love it. And he goes and grabs the scarf. The exact same fucking thing.
Coppers is a slang term for pennies.
Yes, pennies
in the tube. Yes,
the
subway. In London.
Yes.
So at first I was like, coppers? What, like a bunch of cops in the 20s?
Yeah, no, I actually had that.
You know what's interesting too about the dynamic between Steel Dragon is that Jorgen and Goad, which is Zach Wilde, both of those guys have no English accent. They're Americans.
Yeah.
And they play Americans in the movie too.
Yes.
So
Oh yeah. But I love the parallel here as they're firing Bobby, where he's like, this is my scarf and I'm taking it.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
You think you can dress up like me and be a rock star?
No, sir.
No, sir. You have no idea what it takes. What? You think it's all sex, drugs, and rock and roll, do you, huh? Well, you got the sex wrong, didn't you? Drugs, I never touch them. No one does a gig like I do a gig half cut. Not even at your age. And it's bed, 11:30, every night before a gig. That's what it takes. Why don't you just do your own thing? Get your own life. It's like being bloody Elvis.
Except Elvis was the king.
And I'm just the queen.
All of these premises that he's setting up what it takes, Izzy fucking handles it for a year and a half. It never even mentions like this work ethic. No. Izzy's just fucking party.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just knew I wasn't going to remember to come back around to this like little speech because I had seen this movie before. So now when I'm watching that speech and I'm like,
what you're saying isn't hard.
What you're saying isn't required necessarily, for a younger guy to like, who has this kind of talent.
No, that's what you need to do when you get older. Is you have to start.
You are going to have to start that way.
He's saying get in bed by 11:30. That's not hard. It's not hard to do.
It is if you're touring.
No, but he's saying when you're not touring, anyways.
I think he was saying every night. Just in general.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't get to have like sex parties, I don't get to do drugs, and I don't get to stay up late. And it's just like, well, Izzy does like all this shit.
But he says you got the sex wrong because
he's gay.
He's fucking guys instead of girls.
Yeah. But then at the end, when he's just like, he goes up to his face, he's like, just do your own thing. Get your own life. It's like being bloody Elvis, except Elvis was the king. And then he pulls off his wig, and you just see Chris's face go, dude.
His entire
and then he goes,
world.
and I'm just the queen.
Yeah.
Ha bloody ha.
Yeah.
Dude, you bastards.
And then he leaves. But that's when Chris has to be shook because Bobby Beers, this was his idol. He modeled his whole fucking life after him. Not only like back then it was a big deal, like, oh my God, you're gay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're gay. But that's
I've been
not
singing that shit all week.
But it's also like, no, it's just the image of like he's this rock star. No, he's actually just like a gay guy who wears a wig, and this is all just a performance. And it's like you can see it in his face, he just feels tricked.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, I just was like, I like the gimmick, like a fucking kid who wants the Ninja Turtle cereal because that's who's on the cover.
Right.
They don't even care about the flavor anymore. You're just, it's the gimmick.
But yeah, exactly right.
So it's like to see that world shattered between being a fan and now being in this band Steel Dragon behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's like his whole world is like, now it's real. Like, holy shit. And then the next thing you know, he's in that fucking vocal booth.
Yeah.
See, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, they didn't let that whole thing breathe with him. Like his entire like image of this guy that he's like, you were saying, like crash, like they should have focused in more on that. Like use that scene. Like, hey, holy shit, my worldview just got destroyed. But no, just right into the fucking booth.
But seeing the actual performance in the vocal booth, knowing that, it's not really him or anything, but there is like a part to this scene, and maybe you can relate, that kind of almost gives me chills where you just, I don't know, you get like seeing with his headphones on and like knowing like the weight of this moment and who's in that room. And then he like nails the part. And he's like, they're all conversating and his girl's like, I don't know what they're saying. They're making eye contact. He's weird. And he's like, so you want the gig then?
Yeah.
But that scene and him singing that song, We All Die Young, all that shit was it's one of those moments in the movie where it's like fun. You're seeing your character, like his work pain, being appreciated. It's just kind of cool.
I love the scene of Chris like singing in the vocal booth
Yes.
And he's like watching the reactions and he doesn't know what's going on. And yeah, like Kurt Cuddy, you know, they find he gets on the thing. He says, well, mate, do you want the gig then?
Yeah.
Is like,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, then the montage that starts after that of now he's in the band and you see him in press shoots and they're just like, all right, like look harder. Like
he can't keep the shit-eating grin off his face.
He just keeps
I love
smiling
that.
because he's so fucking excited.
Yeah.
How could, I mean, Mark Wahlberg was not traditionally an actor starting out, but like the subtlety of like being the excited kid in that moment is so like, it doesn't come across as an actor doing it. It comes across like you believe
this whole
that he
thing
is
is
so
pretty-
excited.
Pretty genuine.
Like
he
yeah,
does
that
a really
he
good job.
cannot
in this
stop
movie.
smiling.
Yeah.
He's the lead singer of this metal band and he's smiling like a
Yeah.
fucking kid trying to make his mom happy in a yearbook photo. It's unreal.
Well,
it's so good.
And so like the way that they said, do you want the gig then?
Yeah.
It reminds me of the like story of how Jason Newsted got into Metallica. Like they took him to like, do you want to play bass with us? Like just
Yeah,
they
at a
were very
restaurant.
casual about it and stuff like that. He's like, do you want, like, I was like, hey, that's pretty neat. Like to them, it's just a job. To Chris, it's the world. Like he got everything he has ever wanted right there.
But then it cuts to that press conference where they're introducing Izzy, his new stage name Izzy, to the world. And he like speaks with the English accent and shit.
Yeah. Oh my God. And then he breaks it right away. Like
He goes in and out of it in that whole press conference.
So funny.
And
Like
he hits
Izzy's
that
revenge.
He sings stand up and shout, and he holds that long note.
Yeah, and while it's doing that, it's
all
showing
of his
all his
old
people from
bandmates
home
and shit are watching him, and they're just like, holy fuck.
But when it gets to Rob's face, he kind of subtly smiles like, get it.
Fuck yeah,
'Cause
dude.
Like Rob
Yeah.
and him were like,
They're like best
buddies.
friends.
They're
Yeah.
buddies.
best friends. But they just had a falling out.
So that press conference that's on the rooftop, the rooftop locale used for the press conference that introduces Chris Izzy Cole as Steel Dragon's new lead singer and announces their forthcoming tour with them is the same rooftop that was used for the final tour-ending press conference and record company party for the fictional heavy metal band in This Is Spinal Tap from 1984.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Love that.
Which is great.
It's just like, and then one of them goes, can you hit all the notes Bobby can? Which I know that's when he hits them. But he's like, that's why I'm in the band. And then he hits those notes and he goes, how do you keep your voice in such great shape?
Oh, my choir teacher
really gives me these really cool exercises. And then the other guy grabs him and he goes, he's love pussy. That's how. And then he goes, yeah, I love pussy.
Yeah.
And then when it cuts to the parents watching, and then the mom goes, like father, like son.
And then fucking
And
the
then
brother.
the dad goes, that's my boy. And then, the cop brother's like, oh, come on, you guys. He's like so grossed out. It's fun. That's like a moment of comedy there.
So
Yeah.
and then we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but then it pans to Chris in the mirror in the bathroom, and he's saying, "I eat a lot of pussy, loads of it."
I eat a lot of pussy. Tons. I got more voice eating pussy, man. It's like a vocal technique exercise. I got eating pussy, man. Loads of it. All the time. Tons. That's all I do. Breakfast, morning, noon, night. Got to have it, man. That's all I do is eat pussy a lot.
Chris! Either get in here and do it or shut up. Hold on.
He gets all happy
And
about
then
it.
a fucking another tune kicks up, which I didn't write down, but I just know that
It's "Lick It Up" by Kiss,
Yeah,
which is
boom.
like their best.
Perfect.
That's a fucking jam. That
and
might
it's
be my
perfect
favorite
for the
Kiss
moment
song. Yeah,
because what the
It is.
during the stage building montage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate Kiss. But that is
because
that
this
is his
is
song.
Yeah, they're building. This is going to be Izzy's first arena show. Like
Yeah.
you know, this is his debut.
This is it. Yeah, they're bringing Izzy out.
And so they get to where it's about showtime, and Emily is like, he's like, oh, back in the what's he called
The hen house.
the hen house with the other, and she's like, no, I'm gonna sit with Izzy's parents, and he goes, whatever twirls your beanie, darling, and motions the propeller, which we've mentioned on the podcast.
Yes.
Is the propeller beanie.
Yeah, which I would love. I wish
want
we
one
could
of
sell
those.
those.
I think we all need to have one. Now that we have video.
And then Izzy's going up the elevator, and
Oh,
Matt
dude, that would freak me the fuck out.
Matt goes, you're okay. Up you go. Break a leg.
Yeah, we ain't lost one yet, mate.
And then Ozzy going up the elevator to the top of the stage and the red lights.
Dude, that would
So
freak me the fuck.
sick. That was such a rad shot.
It was. And then it switches to white and
I
he's
think
Yeah.
think most of these were at an arena opening for Metallica, maybe.
sounds about right.
And they just like let the people in early and kept them there
I
for a
read
long
that
time.
like Ozzy and like Glenn Danzig and a bunch of other people were at the show.
Yeah,
Dude, that's
okay.
awesome.
I think I heard that too. Because I think
Well,
it was in LA at a Metallica show, so they just used Metallica's arena audience.
I can understand why Ozzy would be there because of Zach, because I think this is about the time when Zach was playing with Ozzy.
He played with Ozzy for a long time.
Yeah,
I mean,
because he played after Randy Rhoads died. So,
when Izzy trips and falls,
oh, dude,
brutal. It looks like it would hurt so bad, but then when he gets up and the blood's all over his face, it like turns that moment into like an iconic moment.
Okay,
yeah.
Two things.
And the way
I
the
have here.
camera like, they're like, like the moment is like gets all fuzzy and wacky, and then the drum flam comes in. It's just the guitar.
Oh, so good. Give me blood pollution.
And
he's killing
that's what I
it.
say. That's
He's
the best.
killing it.
That's probably the best song though. The riff and the vibe
Yes.
of Blood Pollution.
Yeah.
That song.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of originals, but that might be my favorite.
I have a theory that the rest from this moment on, the rest of the movie is just
a head injury. Come on.
No, it's the waning thoughts of his brain before he dies.
Oh God,
he died on that stage.
So I have a little trivia about. But he gets back up, or after he falls, and he gets back up, and he starts singing again, and then he goes and he sees there's that group of people that have that Bring Back Bobby banner, and he goes back and he
grabs the hose.
And he's like,
spray pisses.
He's like, blood pollution. He goes, ah, or something like that. He makes like a funny noise, and then he goes back to Matt's. And he's like, Matt's goes, you okay? Couldn't be better. How do I look? He goes, fantastic. It's brilliant, man. Fucking brilliant. Off you go. And then like the high that he is feeling after singing for his favorite band, like
But after he comes back, Matt tells him off, fucking brilliant, mate. And then he's just, that's when we get the speech of, I was just a regular guy who grew up with posters of these guys on my wall, and now I'm one of them.
Yep. If you work hard enough,
dreams do come true.
Yeah.
So follow your dreams, man.
Because we all die young.
Rest my soul, taste my life for my own. Oh, so that song.
It makes my stomach turn.
Yeah. So that song is sick. That song is actually a so the guy who does all of minus the last scene of the movie,
who does his voice,
the guy who does Mark Wahlberg's voice in the singing parts is Milenko Medjevic.
Yes, and that is a real one.
He's in a band
songs.
called Steelheart, and that song is a Steelheart song.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's
actually
on their
one of their real
1990 or 96 record. I can't remember what it's called. I listened to it on Spotify the other day.
Yeah, but then when he comes off stage, like everyone's pumped, jovial atmosphere. Like Zach Wilde, right between the eyes,
Right
brother.
between the eyes, brother. Like all right. So Bonham can act. Zach Wilde can't.
No,
but
you're right.
The best. I wish fucking Zach Wilde would have played his Les Paul, his circle, black and yellow circle Les Paul, just once instead of all these stupid fucking flying bees. I hate flying bees.
I wish he wasn't shaved because it was sucked to see Zach Wilde like that. I was like, oh God,
yeah,
his
he doesn't
hair was
look
stupid and his shaved face.
Well,
Zach Wilde.
I think the
nowadays
hair was
is a bad
the hair had to be
motherfucker.
extensions.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because it looks
like it was all blonde and shit.
His beard now is just fucking.
Yeah, but he didn't always have a beard.
No,
all
it
the
is
whole
true.
time,
It
did he?
is true.
now.
Even back then, I think maybe he was starting to get it back then.
Yeah,
early 2000s. But in the 80s, yes, he was like when he was playing with Ozzy. I think he was clean shaven back then.
Yeah.
So back to the task at hand. It's after the show. The high that he's feeling for singing for he's in his favorite band now. They just did a massive gig. He killed it. Man, that's got to just be unreal. And then
his parents are trying to get backstage.
They don't let his brother backstage.
I love that. I thought it is so funny to see the tables turn because they made us not like his brother.
Oh yeah.
As the character. So we're already seeing it. We're like, haha. You like we're shitting all over your brother's dreams, and now he's out there fucking making it. Oh, and now you want to be backstage at his show?
Yeah.
And then they're in the limo going to they're leaving like the venue, and then they've kind of hung out backstage at the venue, and there's like that thing with they're getting ready to do shots or something, and Zach Wilde goes, "You're hanging out with the hardcore now, brother."
He just sounds like Phil Anselmo there.
But then they get in the limo to go to the real after party.
Yep.
And Joe Jr.'s in there, and so that girl flashes her tits and presses him against the window, and Izzy goes to his brother, he goes, "Why don't you arrest her?" And Izzy goes, "Out of my jurisdiction, bro." While oogling at the
Just
tits,
staring at him.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I would have rolled the window up and down and to rub it on her, just to like make her go, ow! 'Cause you know it'd be like rug burn. I'd be like, just,
You rubbed my nipples off.
but I am more immature than Joe the cop, obviously.
But so like next thing I have is whenever Tanya tells Izzy, everyone in here wants to fuck you. There's a girl in the zebra dress right next to them staring down barrel of the fucking camera, and it pulls me out.
Tell me
I wish I had saw that just because that would be funny.
But
tell me something. How's it feel to know that everyone in here wants to fuck you?
And didn't we already see at that point? Yes. Emily like stumble outside alone to smoke a cigarette.
Yes.
I was like, oh,
Yeah, like,
Emily's
She
smoking
doesn't
a cigarette.
smoke at all in the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
She
you don't
goes
need to
to
make
try
her
smoke.
smoke.
Like, why did she
But
do that?
She's one of those people that smokes when she drinks.
Well,
They
I think
exist.
it was just like
Cool. So she smells fucking gross when she drinks.
Yes.
Yeah, fun. I think it was just like to like pull her away from all of that stuff, like away from Chris and everything.
Did you notice like when like Emily and Chris are dancing and then Tanya comes in and like they separate them and there's that like Backstreet Boy that like dances up on Emily? Like which Backstreet Boy was that?
Was it a real Backstreet Boy?
No, it just looked like one.
Yeah, no,
because I wasn't paying
Joey.
attention. You could have convinced me.
Joey,
But
right?
He had like
Isn't that one of them?
frosted blonde hair.
This is where the movie right here at this exact point gets a little bit. I could skip this. This could be a deleted scene for me. When
Yes.
just the dropping of the pill to the next morning where
Yeah, but Stranglehold is playing, and that's the only good Ted Nugent
Fuck
song.
Ted
right?
Nugent.
When I listen to it, I'm like, yo, that guy's objectively, he's like a kind of an annoying blowhard dipshit in most of the things, but that's objectively a rocker. It's
a rocker, and it's
Yeah,
not him
it's a
singing
decent-
anyway. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
not-
not.
but even the guitar work, very cool.
Yeah, no, it's
Which-
the only. It's a.
I
It's
tend
a
to think he's
fucking
a
jam. It's
I
like
think he's kind of overrated as a guitarist, but he is a good guitarist, and he does some pretty cool shit in that region.
Yeah,
Well,
and
in that
and
time.
he's a total piece of shit.
Total piece of
as
shit.
a person now, but Stranglehold
Gets on
is a
my nerves.
fucking jam.
It is. And I had said fuck Ted Nugent on there, but yes.
Yeah, fuck the
like,
Nuge.
And Jason, I'm with you. Like the whole, like, oh, we are all fucked up on drugs and everything like that. That whole thing just lasted way too long.
And the big orgy of like him and his girl, and then
So many
and then
people.
putting a dick on Tanya, where I'm like, okay, what
they
they're
don't-
doing, they're just trying to show like, look how wild these concerts get. And it's such a
Wait,
2001
But did you
voice.
get the thing with Tanya? Like at the very beginning, whenever they meet, when Chris and Emily go and get picked up from her, he's like, "Oh, you used to date Bobby," and
I didn't actually notice that. I'm glad you said that, so I'll actually know that about the character. I'm
Well,
like,
so
okay.
so he was dating a woman who had been trans, I guess, because he
she was
Again,
still had her.
I
still
just
had her
think,
parts.
but I think they're shoehorning all this in there to be like, look how wild these rock stars
yeah.
are.
But-
Like the morning when they wake up and there's just people
Yeah,
like
in
sleeping
the weirdest
such a
positions
way,
and
yes.
naked. They got to be cold as shit.
Yeah,
You're in a hotel.
and your neck.
you're
has
in
gotta
a
be
hotel.
fucking
Those things are
killing you.
fucking freezing or
Yeah.
burning
But-
up.
But when he walks in and Tanya is standing up peeing, she looks so hot in that moment though. Like
I
So you
did.
like
she like
those-
looks over at him and she looks like she's been asleep and her makeup's kind of gone. And I'm
I just crossed my memory with Ace Ventura where he all of a sudden starts gagging and like, and like yeah, like, oh no,
Are those my pants? Yes, that's the way I love them.
they're a little
Tight.
snug.
Yeah.
and it just starts chewing all the gum and
Yeah.
like freaking out, and they just then they go ridiculous with it or something. But no, and then just even like Emily, poor innocent Emily waking up like she clearly like, what the fuck happened?
She looks down. She's like, God damn it.
Yeah, by today's standards, this scene is problematic in so many different
Yes.
directions.
Yes.
And it just seemed like it's such a 2001 voice of like telling, I don't know, middle American Walmart shoppers like what rock star life is. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's just
To me,
Yeah,
it's-
but in
it's
the 80s
goofy.
it probably was.
dude, that's just nightmare fuel though. Waking up
I
like
feel
that.
like it
I
was
feel like
that
it's
in
an
the 80s.
amalgamation and mixed with an exaggeration of it.
It's
I
high,
just don't think it's like
hyperbole.
that.
It's
Because you
100%
hear
hyperbole. Yes.
I don't know.
But I
man.
get it.
You
You know,
hear
it's
the
a storytelling
stories,
device.
You hear the stories about Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue and Skid and all those bands.
Yeah, I
And
think those are
it was like
Def
that.
Leppard and everything. Yeah, and you see it later on.
Like
There's a
50
TV that
people in a hotel room all naked and like having no memory of it though, and then just I just was like, okay,
I don't think
gratuitous,
it's all
shoehorned.
that far fetched, to be honest with you.
But I'm okay with them shoehorning it all in one scene to kind of get most of that shit
and
in the movie and then back to the story.
yeah, and see
It just
that's
felt weird and awkward, and I feel better once that part's over.
To me, that to me was the whole thing of like, oh, like they're using this entire movie to kind of show this is what happened in the 80s rock and roll. Like they're trying to cover everything. And like you said, like they're trying to shoehorn everything in from the tour life.
A lot of
into
stereotypes
this.
for sure.
So
I don't know. I think they're trying to tell the story of the guy that replaced Rob Halford for a couple years.
Nope.
So there's a montage coming next where they kind of show like scenes from tour. They show like the dates, which it's like a year and a half or something, and then Talking Heads is playing over it, and it's I love Talking Heads.
Well, that kicks in when it's basically the tour starts, and then the wives are in the limo, and they're having this ridiculous conversation where Jennifer Aniston is doing what she does best. She did it in Office Space. She has this ability to be like, oh, and like while everyone else is being a character, she is being like real almost as the way she's playing. Like, oh, okay, and she's saying sarcastic, snarky shit that where she's tongue in cheek. She's in on it with the audience, but the person she's talking to is
completely clueless,
oblivious to like how she's kind of doing underhand jabs and like talking a bit of shit.
Hopefully I can do that when I'm your age, honey. I'm 22.
No, she goes. The other girl goes, honey, she's 22.
Yeah.
22 and a half.
You were at my birthday party.
Did you guys see who's one of the ladies is in there?
Oh, like it's
Rachel Hunter.
Rachel Hunter and who's the redhead?
I don't know who the redhead was. It's not Nicole.
Well, even the nurse, you look that up, but before she actually gets into the limo, when just like wives and girlfriends, we don't want it to be a distraction. What about those girls? Well, that's Kirk's astrologer, and that's his physical therapist.
Yeah,
because these like young hot chicks are getting on the bus.
Yeah,
and she's like, oh, okay, the fuck.
And this is gonna come up again, but this is that whole conversation with her and oh, no wives in here would have happened before they're walking out to the bus.
I forgot to tell you. No wives. But that's the way like Matt's and all those dudes that are kind of underhanded.
That's information that would have been beneficial to her
but
yesterday.
They don't tell Izzy shit. They treat him like on a need to know basis. Like where this is Kirk and AC's band.
Yep.
They write the songs. They are still Dragon. You're just hired to
we
do
don't
a job.
we don't know that yet though.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, even in this scene, why wouldn't they he know that?
I've got the
They
wives.
spring it on him and he wants to ride with the wives.
Yeah.
And
He's like,
nope.
So Emily leaves tour to go to Seattle.
Well, I was just going to explain that what they convey to her, because the Talking Head song comes in where she's like reanalyzing almost her life at this point. And
she's in like a pondering moment.
Yes, because
the way that song
they're
kicks
just
in
talking about, well, hey, like he's famous now and he kind of belongs to the world, and you got to kind of understand that other chicks are going to like want to fuck him and they're going to fuck him. And it doesn't mean you
As long
can't.
as he comes home at night or whatever.
It doesn't mean you can't have a little fun on the side yourself. And they're kind of like showing like, as a rock star wife, this is the way it works.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And you kind of see her being like, huh.
I don't. Yeah.
She's like not me. These are like high school sweethearts. They've known each other since they were at least 15.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she's just like, not us.
Nope.
You can almost see it crossing her face and like, be like, I just don't know if this is right. And then, you're right. Like this montage of
But she does. Yeah. She stays on the tour for quite a while.
Yeah. And
and then she comes to Izzy that one day and she's, she wants to leave. She wants to go to Seattle. She wants to start a business with Marcy, who is Rob's girlfriend from the other band.
Yes.
And this whole conversation, it really puts in perspective. And Jason, you and I have been on tour enough to see where this kind of is the truth. It puts in perspective how being a touring musician affects your life and those close to you.
Absolutely.
Because you're just never there. You're always gone.
Yes.
You're,
and it's lonelier, even though you're traveling with a band because of these issues. Because, there is like still like what home is and where you go and kick your shoes off and just.
You don't have that for months.
I've got a little bit after the conversation where Emily leaves. You see AC and he's getting his blood cleaned.
Oh,
and he says, freshening up the blood.
Liver doesn't work as good as it did when I was your age, mate. Listen, make it easy on yourself. There's no way it can work. You start off with the best intentions, but so much pussy coming at you every day that finally it wears you down. And then you crack.
Yeah, why don't you act like a Superman or something?
Yeah, you know why? Because I can. And you can too. You see, you got all these birds out there dreaming about having it off with you. And that makes the guys want to be you. Well, the guys are the ones that buy the records. So if the chicks don't want you, the guys are gone. I mean, put it this way. Your job is to live the fantasy other people only dream about. Don't go in half-assed. Dream big. Live the life.
So he's not that wrong.
But this is where it is. This is obviously a crossroads.
Yes.
Right here, because his girl is saying, I am going to go start a business and start my life. I can't just be on this tour and just be your girlfriend forever and have no purpose. So I'm going to go do this. And this other guy's showing the future of what it's like to be a long-term partying ass rock star where you have to have blood transfusions before you're set.
Yep.
To keep your blood clean because you're so fucking partied out and your body's breaking down. And it's like he's seeing the choice right there. I can go with her. And he's like, fuck it, I'm staying in.
Yep.
And he lets her go to Seattle.
I love how you used.
But she supports it, though.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not leaving you. I'm leaving this.
Yeah.
I can't ride in a limousine
We'll
following
meet
a
up
bus.
when your tour comes to Seattle. I want you to have a great time. I want you to be, to live out your dreams.
Yeah.
And it's never said outright, but she knows that involves fucking chicks.
Yes.
That is so weird.
Like, I think so. What I think just happened, because this is going to be this is going to be something that I know that you guys are going to disagree with at first, but just let me get it out. They broke up at this point. They are broken up at this point. In her head and in his head, they are broken up. We are leaving. I'm going to see you when I get to Seattle.
I don't think like necessarily, but yes, I do agree to an extent.
Because it
it's like
essentially serves as what is a breakup, but it's not.
It's like we're on
official.
a break.
Right. It's saying like, exactly, we're on a break. And it's funny that you said that because it's the whole Rachel Ross thing. We were on a break.
Yes.
But that happened here. They broke up. To him and to her, this relationship is currently on pause.
It was kind of like implied that like, we're not going to like keep in touch really. But
Right.
when you come to Seattle,
exactly.
I will come to your show and we will like reconnect and see where the relationship can go.
Exactly. And that's what that
does kind of feel. I do kind of think it's like said without directly saying it, because you do even see in the montage that they have nothing to do with. They're not.
He's not calling
keeping
her
in contact. They're not in regular contact.
Scene 3.
Scene 3.
Scene 3.
Loads of it.
Now that Emily has left the tour, Izzy is exploring his wild side a bit more in a montage of racing movie cars for pink slips, pranking topless babes, and trashing fucking hotel rooms. Izzy's drug and alcohol-fueled lifestyle comes to a head when Steel Dragon makes it to Seattle and Emily arrives at his hotel room as they had previously arranged. Izzy has become so inebriated while on tour, he forgot about the arrangement and does not even know what city he is in. Emily is taken aback by all the groupies at their hotel, but she still tries to reconnect with him, reminding him of their plans to meet up once he got to Seattle. However, he is too intoxicated to really understand what she is saying, eventually suggesting they go to Seattle together. Heartbroken with this inconsiderate behavior, intoxication, and the fact that he is clearly having sex with so many groupies, Emily leaves him. 6 months later, Izzy reports to the next series of Steel Dragon recording sessions with song concepts and artwork for the band's next album. The rest of the band like his ideas, but they reject them, with Kirk explaining that the band has to stay true to the Steel Dragon thing to fulfill fan expectations. Izzy is angered upon realizing that he was only recruited for his vocal abilities. After a heartfelt conversation with Mats about how he feared he had no control over the direction life has taken him, Izzy begins to reconsider his rock star lifestyle. On the next tour, in a scene directly paralleling one near the beginning of the film with their roles reversed, Izzy hears a fan singing along with him toward the end of the live concert. Impressed, Izzy pulls the fan on stage, who introduces himself as Thor, God of Thunder, on stage and hands him the microphone to finish the concert. Backstage, Izzy realizes that what he thought he wanted for so long was not what he wanted anymore, and he says goodbye to Mats, departing from the band while doing so.
Dude, the British is going down. You're becoming more and more Americanized as the read
you were
continues.
losing a little bit, but it's just these are long scene descriptions.
Yeah, they are. They're long.
You mean from just the beginning of the scene to the end? Or,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
It's fine. No, keep it going. Keep it.
So the way this one opens up, though, of we racing for pink slips or whatever, and he's in that old school Adam West Batmobile.
Yeah.
And the other one, that is a
Ferrari.
It's the Ferrari from because they
Magnum PI.
There it is. Yeah,
it's
they call them, like,
a
Magnum.
Ferrari. Is that a 308 GTO?
I don't fucking know.
It's the Magnum
cars.
PI Ferrari, I guess. I didn't watch that show, so I don't really know. Yeah, I did.
Oh, so is that what they were doing? They were like
those were both movie cars.
Movie cars,
and they were running for. They each had a like expensive ass movie car, and they were running for pink slips.
Gotcha.
You didn't watch Magnum PI?
No,
I didn't either.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Tom Selleck is a fucking badass.
But I would love to have that fucking Batmobile.
When I was a kid, I really did love that.
I loved it. Like I like that one better even than
You
the
weren't a kid when this movie came out.
No, I just mean that Batmobile.
That Batmobile.
That Batmobile was preceded me, brother.
I know.
But I like that one better than the Michael Keaton Batmobile.
You know what the best part about that is Matt's in Shotgun as Robin.
Yes.
And he's like on the car phone in the Batmobile. It's so fucking funny.
Like they're definitely like conveying fun in this montage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like this is the start of the easy times.
Yeah,
for
you're
him.
not seeing him like being bummed on Emily or anything. He's like doing this. And after he wins the Ferrari, it shows him like I think they're in Wichita, Kansas or something.
Yeah,
but Zach Wilde shoots a sign.
Yeah, and I said, yeah, fuck Wichita. I hate that
It said
city.
Wichita 35 miles. They're in the fucking desert.
I know.
It doesn't look like anything like that anywhere near Wichita.
I once watched a movie. It was like one of those shitty sci-fi movies where like it was based in Kansas City. So I was like, oh, this is going to be cool. And like as they were showing the downtown, there was mountains in the background. I'm like, oh, okay, no. And
they probably like filmed most of the tour scenes like pre San Bernardino. They just like fucking went on some like
out on that stretch
inland
out there.
highway, and just we're like, this will be good
outside
enough.
of Barstow.
Yeah,
exactly.
just put up that sign now.
Once you get outside of Barstow, it just becomes pretty easy.
Yeah,
we filmed a video out there, and we literally just were in the middle of a road.
It's fucking beautiful out there. Like I
cool.
love that sort of land, that geography.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun out there. But it did seem like they were kind of close to home filming those. But then we see, they're dropping the coins on these topless sunbathers or whatever. Just like pulling all these fucking pranks, and they're trashing hotel rooms because he found out that his wife was sleeping with Peter Gabriel.
Yeah.
Which guy was it? Like
AC.
maybe AC.
That was AC.
AC's wife. Yeah.
Yeah. Izzy goes, "What's going on?" And Kurt goes, "His wife ran off with Peter Gabriel."
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Dude, the best thing was the
his wife. No offense, AC. She made a good decision.
Yeah.
Lap it
yeah,
up.
So the TV out the window, the furniture, the furniture on the ceiling. It was just saying, kind of referencing like we've already said, they're referencing like all of the stories from the metal bands of this era.
And, and this one's like a more fun montage of it. And then the montage culminates with now they're in Seattle, and we see Matt's saying, "I've got to check your credentials outside of a hotel room.
Yeah.
Have your pussy passes out." And when you see,
well, before that, they're on an elevator.
Well, no, but we see that, and then it cuts to the elevator.
Cuts to the elevator, yeah.
And Emily's sitting in there with all these fucking bimbos.
Yeah.
And one is like, if I get to be with Izzy,
I am going to shit bricks.
Well, yeah, that'll make a lasting impression.
Do you dance at Chubby's?
No.
Well, you should. You have a killer body. It's not totally nude there. I mean, we have to wear G-strings, so the guys, they respect us way more.
Oh, wow, yeah, you know what? That is so true. I mean, nothing says respect like cramming a strip of Lycra right up your ass.
Fucking A,
dude.
That's like the elevator.
Jen
ride.
Aniston,
Fucking A, Mama was the best part of that.
Yeah.
Jen Aniston is like you already brought it up.
Yeah, playing it straight.
Don't call her
Yeah.
Jen. You don't know her.
I do. We had cookies the other day. It was fun.
Did she call you at home?
Does she call you at home?
She was trying to date me for a real long time. I said, Jen, listen, Jen, look, Jen, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So,
but then when she's confronting him,
what's the P stand for?
Yeah. Go. Yeah.
Close personal friend of the
it's
band.
Pass. Yeah. She goes, it's not pimp.
Yep.
No, it's personal friend of the band. And he's like, yeah, 1 second.
And then he whispers in that dude's ear.
She goes, relax, I'm not here to check up on him. I was invited. He's like, well, he's doing interviews. And she's like, interviews? Okay. And she just cuts past him, starts to walk there, and you can see him like panicking, like, fuck.
And then that other chick is like just following.
Yeah.
because she's like really antsy.
the one that danced at Candies or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when they lock eyes and he like walks up like totally fucked out of his mind.
Yeah.
He looks like he's on fucking pills or something.
Oh yeah.
Like, or heroin. Like shit is really, this isn't just like alcohol and partying. And he's like, what are you doing here? He's like, I live here, Chris. He goes, I thought you were in Seattle. He goes, we're in Seattle.
Yeah.
You're in Seattle. I'm sorry.
Like,
you forgot. No. Yeah, you did. You know, it's like, yeah, you forgot I was coming. It's like, no, I didn't forget. And then all of a sudden he's like, Matt, you're supposed to, and like,
Supposed to remind me. She's
like,
coming.
don't fucking put it on him, you know? Just,
it is heartbreaking.
yeah, that scene is kind of tough, especially because
It's exactly what I have. Is that whole break, like that whole scene is very heartbreaking.
because we're rooting for both of them.
Yes.
But we're really rooting for her too, because like she has been like ride or die. She is like an objectively good woman to him.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, man, what are you doing?
You fucking up, bro.
Yeah.
But like the whole thing, like I love it, but I also hate it. This whole thing is it's such a heavy moment, and then all of a sudden the
Bimbo interrupts.
the Bimbo, are you almost I gotta be
Sorry,
working.
I gotta do him first because I gotta work at midnight.
Yeah. It's like, fuck, man. Like they're having this big serious moment, and then that happens, and you're like, oh yeah, this whole other side of his life is still trying to happen around him, and it shows no time for the personal stuff right now. It's great. It was a great example of it all.
Yeah, and that whole conversation after he like pulls her away from that bimbo, and she's just like, no, you know, we're not gonna. This isn't like,
yeah,
you know, you don't have to call me Izzy and all this shit is what they're like. It's like tense. But then
did you hear what she called him?
He goes, I'll go with you. She goes, go with me where? He goes, with you. I'm going to go to Seattle. She goes, we're in Seattle, Crizzy.
That's what I was gonna say. Did you see what she called
It's
him?
like he
Crizzy.
forgot that they already had this conversation that they're in Seattle already. I'm like, oh fuck, like he is fucked up.
Yeah.
And she's just like, what? I can't have an evening with you.
Yeah.
You don't even fucking remember.
That's my note says the Seattle scene with Crizzy and Emily is so sad.
It is. It's just so bad.
That's in the Bimbo interrupts again. Sorry, but are you guys done? Because and she's like, we're done. She goes, better get going on this one because she's got to work by midnight.
Yeah. Oh my God. And again, Jen Aniston pulling it off.
Yeah.
And then it just does that slow, like Hulk walking down the street pull away type of thing like that.
Right, they're symbolizing like, yeah, that shit,
Like-
that it is over. He's like,
Yeah.
she got away. And then it cuts to 6 months later.
Yeah.
And they're in the studio.
Yep.
And
at
we
Kirk's
have
studio
we
for
have
that
a
second
really
record.
nice conversation between AC and Goat. If you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
AC says, "Hey,
well, before the thing, how it opens up when they go in there, Batmobile, all that, signs autographs, but fucking when he comes in, they're laying a bass track.
I love
with
that.
the P bass, and it's got that fucking grit. And they even commented about it, like, I don't know, is it raunchy enough? Sounds pretty raunchy in here. And
Can
I'm
you
like,
make it a bit more raunchy?
yeah, sounds pretty raunchy in here, and it fucking does. I'm
It
like,
does.
maybe it's an
Sounds
EQ
so
thing.
good.
I was like, that fucking sounds so good. I'm
So-
into it.
Joe, it's not very brutal. Can we make it a bit more raunchy?
Sounds pretty raunchy in here.
All right, maybe it's an EQ thing. Look, just take a couple of minutes. We'll see what we can do here, all right?
God, these septics, look, it's not. It needs a bit of bollocks to it. It's EQ it or something.
Yeah, pretty good hunting up at your ranch.
It was great. Every damn thing I saw, I killed it. Killed something every damn day, man. You know, you ought to think about bringing your new fiancée up there sometime, man.
You know, I would, but she's really busy at the moment. Some shit about a yearbook committee. Got any body?
Yearbook club.
I did
Yes.
notice that this
Yes.
time, and I'd never
Yes.
seen that before.
I'd never heard that
Or
before.
noticed it.
I was like, holy shit, she's in high school.
Yeah, they're
And it's
just
funny
playing
because
off, but I love it.
because he's got a new fiance. You remember he's the one that got his wife ran off with Peter Gabriel.
Yeah.
So he's already in 6 months already has a fucking fiance.
Fiance, and she's like probably, definitely young.
probably a senior in high school.
Like maybe could technically be a teacher,
Maybe
but no.
she's 18.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole thing with like
He comes in and his eyebrows pierced.
yeah,
You gotta clear
check
this.
with
You got to clear that with us before you do that.
and then he's like I got all the lyrics and the
I
the
worked
new
on some
tunes
songs for the album,
and he's
Yeah.
got like the cover with no words and no band name or anything. That'd be pretty heavy. And they're like, he's like, well, I'm glad you had fun writing your little songs in the break
Oh
or whatever.
man,
And he's
The
like, I
album's already
busted
done.
my ass or whatever. And then there's a little. Kirk basically takes him in the next room. He says, "Let me explain. Come here. Listen. Our fans, right?
Our loyal, die-hard fans, our very lifeblood, if you will, expect to see certain things, all right? And we like to give them what they want. And we don't deviate from that because one disappointed fan can quickly turn to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, and on like that until the next thing you know, we're playing to a half-empty hall. And our lost sheep are off enjoying the rock stylings of, say, Rat. So while I understand your impulse to do your own thing, and I admire it in some small way, if you want to stay with Steel Dragon, then you're going to have to reconcile yourself for the time being to doing the Steel Dragon thing. All right? And the Steel Dragon thing is that AC and I write the songs, and you sing the songs that we write. Am I clear?
Oh.
And
that's when he goes in there and he's like,
he's kind of pouting.
My board. Soul is on fire.
Yeah. Well, at first he's
got all my bitches in hoes and clothes.
Yeah.
Wait, whoa.
And I'm like,
he's like pouting in the beginning when they first show his face, and then he kicks in, and he's like rapping and doing like his hand gestures and shit.
And then they're like, "What's he doing? What?" And they're like, "Just sing it like it's written." And he goes, "I thought I was."
Do you guys want to know?
They didn't write bitches, hoes, and
Do you want to know what the song is? The lyrics to that song?
Sure.
Life is a hunger burning way down deep. In my soul, I'm on a roll. I'm on fire. Insane is the name of my game. I'm like a runaway train riding through your door.
Yeah, it's fucking dope.
Heads
That's rock
up.
and roll, bro.
Heads up, cause it's off and I'm rough. I'm on a murder mile that I'm stalking, baby. This is the great one. I'm ready to rumble, not afraid of the jungle, and I'm ready to roar. Like, those aren't real fucking lyrics. Those are real fucking lyrics.
Yeah, those are real 80s lyrics. They sound, that's what they were. It was all about fucking just putting your cock out there. It was just like,
my God.
I'm this type of fucking guy.
That's
It's
so dumb.
Hilariously, like almost stereotypical 80s lyrics.
Oh, it's so dumb. Like, I like,
and then, but they show Kirk and he goes, "That's pretty good."
yeah. I'm like, I'd never noticed the fucking lyrics before. And then I did. I was like, I think it was like, I'm like a runaway train. I was like, oh, and I started thinking the Soul Asylum song.
Runaway train, never going back.
What are the lyrics to this? So I went back and like fucking read oh my God, they're so dumb. So dumb.
Oh.
What the fuck?
I mean, there's worse lyrics out there.
There are.
Yeah,
there definitely are.
I think they're appropriate for the music that I'm hearing for sure.
Yeah.
The way he performs it, it's just, there's something all boastful and cocky about the music and the lyrics and the performance.
This song has a very like Faith No More kind of vibe to
yes.
it. In the
I could see that a little bit.
And, But did you notice like it's a little bit different, a little bit more less like
but it's also a sick riff. It's fucking cool.
It is. No, but
I don't like the intro.
Is
boom bam bam boom do 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 ja do 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 ja. It's like it does, but when it kicks in, that intro part doesn't make any sense.
But that kick in riff, is sick.
Yeah, it's a heavy riff.
It's fucking cool. I really like the riff. So then that night after the big studio, do you guys have any more on that studio time?
No. Next thing
We're
I
talking
have
to Matt.
is Matt's and Izzy at the bar.
At that bar, because this scene really like is. You could see where, especially after this conversation, what he learned in the studio. I was like, no, you're just a dude for hire creatively. We don't give a fuck what you have to say.
Yeah,
you're just a
here.
You're just
here.
Yeah,
that's
like,
it.
We just need you to do what we tell you. And he's like, fuck. And he's not finding that creative thing. And he even makes a comment to Matt's about, I owe like an old friend an apology, or he might even says a guy named Rob or something. Yeah, he does. I owe a guy named Rob an apology.
Yeah,
because he's like, now he understands like, oh, to not have your own creative force and just to be something for hire. Where he's like,
it sucks.
Fuck, he was right the whole time.
Yeah, and then you get that heartbreaking, just gut-wrenching fucking story from Matt. Like, it brings so much depth to his character right here.
Oh yeah.
And
you see what the other choice from like letting the woman of your dreams go.
Yeah,
and then watching her like raise a family with somebody else who could do it, and then
gorgeous girls.
And he's just like, yeah, but I'm really happy with my life. And he's just looking at you going,
she was
fuck,
really
dude.
a very sweet girl. Yeah, she's very happy.
She married my best friend. Yeah, these gorgeous kids.
3 gorgeous girls. Gorgeous. Like, and you...
I'm just like, and it's like, she
he
was
seems to be
willing
at
do
peace
this.
with it. Like it's definitely a source of.
No, he's almost like, and check me out. I'm kick ass.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at him like, dude, you're just, oh my God.
Like,
I would hate this.
Yeah. So he sees this again as just another fork in the road. I think you'd said something about a journey earlier.
Earlier, he chose, I'm going to go this way.
Yep.
And now he's like, fuck, maybe I didn't go the right way.
Right.
There's a very important aspect to this conversation too. The way he leaves, the way Matt leaves his love.
Yes.
He tells her he needs to go take a piss, and he never comes back. Well, and he even mentions like, oh yeah, they came to a show recently. You know, he's so they're on good terms. But that part of it, that leaving without saying anything because he had to go take a piss and he just never came back, it's going to come up later.
Yeah, but it's
that's an important part of his like Matt's story. Like, oh, I'm just going to have a piss.
The way that he talks about it is like, I'm staring at the wall, and it just hits me like, this is my life. This isn't what I want. And so, like you said, he's taking that other path, and it's, to me, it's heartbreaking because I'm like, I took the other path, you know? So
yeah,
I chose right in my head.
But so, yeah, that next day after the conversation, not next day, but the next scene, because it could be, but it's reasonably, they're setting up for another arena show.
Yeah.
This is presumably like a between record kind of just fucking some more one-off dates or that they're doing or something.
It's the same.
They had
it's
a
the
break
same,
of some sort.
It's the same stage setup. I mean, I understand that they did that for.
Yeah, and if they were just in the recording session, then their another record isn't released, or they don't make it clear that there's a new record out or anything.
Right. So they're probably still touring on that. They usually do a new set or stage set.
But he goes out and gives that same, I grew up with these, with posters of these guys on my wall. Now one of them, you can almost see like he's less enthusiastic.
Yeah.
It's like a rehearsed speech at this point. They just memorized. And you see that kid, we find out his name is Thor, like singing along. Stand up and shut.
I thought it was Jared Leto at first. I was like, is that Jared Leto?
No.
It's Miles Kennedy.
Yeah, no, I saw that. And I was like, no way. And I looked and was like, oh, it's not.
It's awesome because it mimics the exact same way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the way that Izzy got in the band.
Yeah, because it's almost Izzy going like, I'm not Bobby Beers. Like, I know what it's like to be that fan. And like, this guy was like too good to do something like that. Izzy's like, that's who it should be.
Yeah.
So someone that loves this band.
He says, hey, get this kid a mic, and pulls him up stage and lets him do that.
Oh, and he's like, I love you, dude. I study your moves, blah, blah, blah. And then they sing together and he fucking,
I know
he has them like they do when they're singing, they're facing each other singing and they're leaning backwards.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, this is so cool. Like how they did this. And then he's like, they finish the song. He comes backstage and he's like, what do you say? You want to blow the roof off this place? And he just says, get out there. And so,
because he knows all his moves. He studied them.
Yeah.
He goes, I love you, man.
Well, and so he goes,
no, go
ahead.
I have what's coming up after that.
So he goes backstage, or he goes back to the back and he sees Matt's, and Matt says, everything all right?
You better, Matt.
Taking a night off, are you?
I'll go take a piss. I'll see you again. Yeah. Off you go.
Well, and the whole this full circle thing that we've seen is just, it's fucking cool.
Yeah, because that's the end of scene 3 right there.
Scene 4. Take us home.
Scene 4. Is it time for scene 4?
Scene 4.
Scene 4. We cut back to the same Steel Dragon documentary footage from the beginning of the film. We learn that after leaving Steel Dragon and ditching his rock star image and stage name, Chris makes his way to Seattle and starts a new band with his old friend and former bandmate, Rob, allowing him to write his own music. Chris finds Emily working in the coffee shop she and her roommate Marcy purchased a few years earlier, and he is initially too ashamed to speak to her. While walking one evening, Emily sees a flyer for Chris' band posted on the wall and takes it down. Then at Chris' show, Chris is singing his first original song, Colorful, with his band in a bar when Emily walks in. Chris leaves the stage and speaks to her. They catch up and reconcile with a kiss. They found their way back to each other after all. Credits roll! During the credits, the Steel Dragon documentary continues with Kurt Cuddy talking about the future of the band, and Bobby Beers is shown to have taken up Irish dancing after he was fired from Steel Dragon. Also, we see legendary prank by the film crew on Mark Wahlberg, as well as some other fun bloopers and outtakes.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
I can't wait to talk about the bloopers. But
The news outlet talking about is he leaving?
Yeah.
And then
he shocked fans as he walked off stage.
yeah. The members of Steel Dragon talking about is he leaving? AC goes, look, for the last time, I don't give a fuck where he is, and I don't really care if I ever see that little bastard again.
Yeah.
And then they show
they're
Mats, and he goes,
angry.
he said to me, I need to take a piss. That's it. Matsy said, I really need a piss.
I always remember that too. I really need a piss.
yeah. Well, I thought it was kind of cheesy, like the way that they're like, I get it, but it was just like, it was, I don't know. I hate news position stuff like that.
They're kind of showing how the story's being told in like a documentary of like they were such a huge band. And then, and it just cuts back to him and that from the beginning where he's like, it's obviously 90s fucking Chris.
Yeah.
And he's like, one day I realized it just wasn't for me anymore. I was wearing the clothes, I was singing the songs, and it just didn't feel right. I just wanted to find myself in my own music. And that's where it like shows him, and all of a sudden his voice is now the singer of the Verve Pipe.
Brian Van Ark.
And that song, I want to be colorful. That's a real Verve Pipe song, which I did not know. They wrote it for the film, but it's like their song or whatever.
But he looks just like, they're trying to do a Kurt Cobain
But
thing.
before we show
Seattle
him
in the 90s.
before we show him on stage, they show him.
Yes,
they show Izzy,
montages.
who is now Chris again.
Yeah,
hopping off of a truck, hitchhiking to Seattle.
Yeah,
there are a couple schools of thought about this. One school of thought is that he should have been loaded with cash from being in the band.
Yep, absolutely.
The other is more complicated. Something often considered as a plot hole or even a goof is that Chris supposedly ends up with no money at all when he leaves Steel Dragon, including him hitchhiking.
Very possible.
Considering the timeline somewhat implied to the movie, we assume Chris was in Steel Dragon for a year or two, which I disagree with because it's 85 to about, it has to be into the 90s.
It has to be 89, 90. Like very beginning.
I'm thinking 92, 93 even. Which
Yeah,
the
because-
movie explains is enough time to make money as he bought the 60s era Batmobile, among other properties. However, it is shown that Steel Dragon's writing, and surely some royalties related to it, is owned by AC and Kirk.
Yep.
Which, so most of the revenue goes to but that's just writing royalties. And very little to Chris, as he actually has no creative input, and putting him in a somewhat complicated financial situation as he spent great money on buying stuff. Related to this issue, when he leaves Steel Dragon, he has very little attention from media, meaning that his departure is nothing but an easy to overcome setback for the band. All in all, Chris' financial status after Steel Dragon would have been somewhat complicated. My thoughts on that second school of thought is that even though he was not involved in any writing, he would have been making a lot of money on tour.
Yes.
Either as a hired employee, a salaried employee of the band, or as 1/5 of the band. Also, he did record one record with the band, which all these years later, he still would have seen royalties on, having performed on it. Lastly, I don't believe the year or two thing because at the end of the movie, the look and sound of Chris Band is very 90s. So maybe all this happened over a longer period of time than we think. The point being, he shouldn't be left with nothing and hitchhiking to Seattle.
Well, see,
can I put my theory on this, or the
Absolutely.
spin that, to me that makes the most sense? Is he left that band? To me, it did feel like he did it a couple of year stint when they were going in to record that second record. He played one more show and quit. So in that second record, it was only 6 months after that first touring stint. So that we're probably 88 at the latest. Somewhere in 88, he's quitting from 85. Now, you were right. He should have amassed some cash. He bought a Batmobile, won a fucking Ferrari in this fucking thing. So I think when he left in 88, the band, he probably slowly lived off the money he had, but was getting no more new money. He had to sell the Batmobile, whatever, Ferrari, the house or whatever, until he had nothing left. And at this point, it probably took him 5 years to run through everything living in LA as like the ex-rock star. They just didn't show any of that. And then he arrives, after he has nothing, he just hitchhikes up to Seattle to maybe see if he can't rediscover music with his old friend and maybe, hopefully, like meet up with Emily again because he was thinking about her the whole time. He walks by her fucking coffee shop, and it's got to be the 90s. It's got, he left in 88-ish, and this could, like Shaw says, it's got to be like 93, 94.
I don't think
maybe
I don't think
92,
maybe even 96 from the sound of the music because we're getting to like Verve Pipe style music.
I think that was just
kind of post grunge already. Kurt had died, and then that ushered in like Bush and the more modern sounds of where grunge was morphing into more commercial. Before you know it, you got Hootie and the Blowfish and Verve Pipe and
and then Hootie and the Blowfish was like 93, 94.
Yeah,
that is true. They were running kind of parallel to grunge.
But I think you said like 92. I think it's closer to the early 90s just because it's still
it's Seattle
coffee.
too.
Yeah, it's still coffee house type
all
of
starting
shit.
in Seattle. Yeah.
And so this whole thing. We see he joins back up with Rob, right? Is that his name?
Yep. That's his old
Timothy
friend.
Oliphant.
Yeah.
He
I
sees
love that they get back together. Friendship.
in the park, and they're playing guitar together in the band.
I still got Hole in a Half on a shelf.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
But that explains why she's like, when she goes, I'm going to Seattle. Rob probably heard about this thing going on out in Seattle. This
Rob and Emily
new
were
era
moving there anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So Rob and Marcy were like, hey, let's
That's what
go.
I mean,
Yeah.
Marcy.
They were like, hey, let's go to Seattle because there's this whole new movement happening.
Well, Marcy did that because of the business.
Yeah. Well, she moved out there. They got a loan and everything like that. And so I think Rob was the one that planted that idea that we should go start a coffee shop, have shows at it and stuff like that. Open that up because that whole area is blooming.
Their coffee shop is not where their show was.
I understand it wasn't, but
Okay.
like we're talking about late 80s, early 90s Seattle. There was this coffee shop everywhere. That's where Starbucks was born. I'm saying, like,
I know I've been to the original one.
Andy, we've been there a bunch of times.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that we're all correct here. Like, Rob and Marcy moved out there like 88, 89, because that's when like Nirvana, Soundgarden,
Yeah, they
Temple of
moved-
the Dog.
I don't
They
think
moved out there when she left that tour and moved out there.
I don't think that. I don't. That's what I'm saying is I don't think that the music had anything to do with it. That was Marcy and Emily's idea to go open a coffee shop.
Yeah, and he moved with his girlfriend because they
Right.
stayed together.
But Rob, I'm
he
just
didn't
saying,
have
Rob,
new music. He still had Hole in a Half. I mean, he's barely playing. He's just got a normal job there.
but he's just like, hey, he's a part of the music thing like that. He heard and he hears rumblings.
Not until Chris got there. Now he was a normal guy. He cut his hair. He only had Hole in a Half. That's the shit he had back in the fucking. He had Hole in a Half was written in '85 at the latest. He kicked ass. He's proud as hell to have written it.
Anyways, but
That's
yeah,
right.
no. So
That's
like,
right.
I love how it brings them all back around and everything like that. And well, I do have one thing about his fucking lyrics.
Not even the lyrics. I have the one thing about the flyer that she sees that brings her there.
That looks like shit.
It says,
That's a shitty.
It says Chris Cole and Band.
Yeah, and Band.
That's what a great band name.
Chris Cole and Band.
Chris Cole and
Well,
Band.
I don't know if you've ever seen that kind of scene. The flyer, like sometimes the flyers that are made, not by the musicians.
Yeah,
like my dad was in like the blues scene, and like sometimes they would just be like the fucking club would make the flyer.
Yeah.
And it would be like my dad's band was called Blues Benders, right?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, and the Blues Benders band.
Oh,
And that's not what they're called.
Right.
Yeah.
So that might be one of those things. But I love that. I love that we get that reunion with Chris and Rob.
Yeah.
I love that we see the reunion of Chris and Emily. But you were going to talk. Somebody was going to talk about the song.
Oh.
And all the random hands that I have shook.
Real song from the Verpipe.
Most were being good for goodness sake, but you wouldn't pantomime. What the fuck are you talking about?
Especially
you
the way
will
it's sung.
love me the
When he goes,
way.
Pantomime. I just don't fuck. I don't like it.
And I was like, God damn it. God damn
We
it.
were merely freshmen. Okay, and so then during the outtakes, the best part of it is,
Well-
and there's several.
Yeah, you have to show that they got back together. Because here's the thing.
I just said that.
I forgot that they got back together.
Me too. I completely
I
forgot.
was like, oh, he lost her, and then when they meet back up, I thought it was going to be more of like a friendly, casual, like,
yeah,
this was good to see you, and we're like, man, damn.
He's
I
like,
really
you look
missed it."
great, and she goes, you do too, and she like her voice cracks.
Yeah, and you can
It's
just
very
tell-
authentic.
You can
Her
tell that
eyes
they're-
are welling up.
Like all this stuff is now behind us, and we can actually like
Yeah.
now with the timing is right.
And you think about the
They waited
fact
for
that they
each
were
other.
like high school sweethearts and shit, and it's working out. Like it's great.
Yeah. And
Very
this is
cool.
where you see Marcy. Like when he's standing outside the coffee shop and
And she-
Jen
yeah.
turns, Marcy's right behind at the
They're
cash
both in
register.
there.
And you
I
know this
believe that.
because you recognize her from
From
the
earlier
earlier scene.
Yes. Yep, her curly ass hair. Yep.
See, I didn't even notice that. So we get into the post credits, and there's bloopers. There's the news girl. What did she say?
Well, it starts
Fuck
with
me in the ass.
Fuck me in the ass.
It starts with the Bobby Beers actual, like, his part of the documentary,
yeah.
how he's doing the stupid Irish dancing. You're
Oh,
like,
it's so
okay.
good.
Yeah. He's
And
like,
then it's,
what I
bloopers.
realized as I was given the bad message, blah, blah, blah. And then there's like the thing where he's like, at the end of the, what does he say? It's when he's still in Steel Dragon. And he's like,
Yeah, I know exactly what
the
you're
singer
thinking.
of songs, blah, blah, blah. And that is the essence of rock and roll or whatever he says.
And Kirk's like, what the fuck are you
Yeah, yeah.
talking about?
and then they show Joe Jr., the cop.
Yeah. Oh God.
Okay, Bobby Beers.
Beers.
Okay, Chris Queers.
Chris Queers.
Yeah. Okay. Backstage pass.
Yeah.
Dude.
And then
crud pollution.
Then crud pollution. And then we get
Chris Queers.
Then we get the fucking, you see like all of the fucking, you see the band on stage and Mark Wahlberg's there and they're filming show scenes. And then like all of a sudden over the fucking intercom or the PA, they play Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, Good Vibrations. And then several crew members and actors like start dancing them.
Dude,
some of them pretty good.
They had the fucking moves down.
And then
because they rehearsed this prank on him.
And then he starts breakdancing. And then he comes up to the camera and says, "No more metal shit. It's all about hip hop. It's all gravy. It's all bling bling, pinky ring, word about city bling bling, all that shit. No more of this." And gives the metal hand sign.
Yeah.
It's about this. And he gives the west side hand sign.
Yeah.
All right, you heard me? Lay your shit by the TV and watch this shit here. This shit the bomb. You heard me?
And then the end.
So good.
Yeah, because it showed that they had fun making it. And then I saw in my short bit of trivia is that in an interview, someone asked him rapid fire questions about his career, Mark Wahlberg. They go, funnest film to shoot. And he was like, oh, Rockstar. He said it quick. So he had a fucking blast filming this movie.
I bet. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Is everybody done? Are we ready to rate? Are we ready to rate this thing? Guys, I'm curious to know how out of 10 pierced nipples, how many pierced nipples would you give this movie? I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
This is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's great. It's entertaining, and it's done so well. Buy it. Buy this motherfucker. Go out right now and buy it. It's worth watching over and over again.
Okay. While I'll go, I don't disagree with you personally. For me, I have a lot of fun with it, but for me, I am going to give this 6 nipple piercings, 6 out of 10. And
it's actually pierced nipples. Okay.
Yes, pierced nipples. 6 out of 10 pierced nipples. I do feel like the only things, the couple of times where it gets dark for me, the big like kind of club party scene, and then kind of towards the end, with their breakup and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a couple of moments where I'm like, oh, I just don't like, dirty taste the sleeves in my mouth.
Yeah.
But then it does resolve really cool. And there's like a typical like, happy ending. I would call it. And being, playing in bands and stuff, there's a lot of fun in there. But some stuff is just kind of a little bit exaggerated and kind of Hollywood. And because of that, I had a lot of fun with it, but it's personally fun. I don't think this is like groundbreaking. I'm going to say I'll watch it.
Okay. And I am going to be the exact same as Jason. I am a 6 out of 10 pierced nipples or nipple piercings. I'm sorry.
It's pierced nipples.
Okay,
you had
6
it right
out of
the
10,
first time.
6 out of 10 pierced nipples and a watch. So like same beats as him. It was a fun watch. Like when it comes on again, I'll probably sit down and watch it because I forgot how much fun I had with it. But nothing groundbreaking or anything like that because I couldn't remember the first time I watched it. So.
Okay, guys, it's time for the Movie Roulette podcast bi-weekly fuckface challenge.
Yes, you've all been waiting.
What we have for you this week is we're gonna ask you to put yourself in Chris Cole's shoes. You are joining a band, your favorite band or a band that you love. You're joining that band, and you're gonna become a rock star. What band is it, and what do you do in the band?
Okay.
I'm going to go first.
I will go. I like to go last.
Okay, I'll go in the middle.
All right. I was.
Because he's going to steal probably one of mine, but I got backups, you dick.
All right. I did the Foo Fighters playing bass for the Foo Fighters.
Motherfucker, of course you did. All right. I got backups.
Yeah.
Well, you can be in the same band.
I know. I get it.
No. So are you going to replace me, or am I going to replace you?
Oh, and I'd replace you.
Or maybe you play drums in it.
No, no, dude.
Trust me, when it's my turn, I'll get there.
I would love to do the drums, but I just know they're very I don't know. I think the bass is very tasteful, but I would love to play Nate Mendel. So,
well, that is where my head is at, but. Let me throw in some caveats because when this opened up, I was like, ooh, I would have so much fun playing drums for Nirvana. Now I get it.
Same.
That he is not alive.
That was one of my early choices.
Perfect one because Dave Grohl is incredible. The drum playing is great, but I can already play probably 75% of it. I feel like the rest of it, I just could really work on some chops because it's not impossible.
Uh-huh.
It's very air drummy, very, like his drumming is a lot of fun. I would have trouble with like his fast shit.
I would say though that this also real life abilities are irrelevant.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I thought about it that way.
Yeah, no. It's just like
But then,
you can.
Then I'm like, no, I think I'd rather play bass in the Foo Fighters. And I kind of went there and be like, I'd have so much fun. You know, their arena tours, their long shows,
Yeah.
the guys are great. And then I was like, wait a minute. You know, what would be really fun is to play bass for Nirvana and get to play with Kurt Cobain and Dave Grohl and fucking play. And because the bass line, they're fun. There's
Yeah.
some good chops in there. So I think I'm landing on bass for Nirvana with Kurt Cobain and Dave Grohl in the band.
So you guys both, I considered Nirvana. I was like, and Foo Fighters. I was like, okay, we just had Josh Freese join Foo Fighters as a drummer.
Yeah.
So like this is a little, it hits like a little more real. And I was like, but would I want to replace Dave Grohl as the frontman of the Foo Fighters? I don't know. Same thing with Nirvana.
Then you
I
don't
thought
get to
about
be in a band with Dave
I was
Grohl.
like, yeah, I was like, I could be the drummer of Nirvana, but you know, so what I did, and this is, how am I going to go about this?
I don't
You
know.
guys are probably expecting me to pick some punk rock or hardcore band, which
No,
there's
I have something in my head.
there's a ton of stuff out there in that world that I would to this day, if they were like, oh, we play 6 shows a year, okay, I'll do it, and I easily could.
We're writing our predictions.
Yep. All right.
I can't wait to see if it was right.
right.
So,
All right.
and I'm going to preface this with I have had this opportunity twice in my life already.
Okay. Oh, never mind.
I have played.
No, my guess.
I have joined in my life 2 bands that I love.
Oh, that you had the posters of them on their wall, on your
you
walls.
did. You
I
actually,
absolutely
I can
did.
attest to this.
Yeah.
I can attest to this. This is true.
I've joined 2 bands that meant a lot to me.
And you just started out as a fan.
Just
and then you became one of them.
Started as a fan, became friends, and became part of the band. So this is kind of a hard question for me because of that. There are a lot of bands that I love more than the band that I'm going to choose. But I wanted to do something that would be life-changing in a more real way. So that means choosing something more massive, on a massive scale.
Both of us off.
I never had aspirations to be a singer or a frontman of a band.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to become the drummer.
Oh.
Which is what I really do.
Yes.
It is 1976.
Oh,
okay.
shit.
I was wrong.
And Genesis frontman Phil Collins wants to spend more time fronting the band since Peter Gabriel's departure in 1975. They do one tour with Bill Bruford as the touring drummer, and he decides to move on. I am given the opportunity to become the touring drummer for Genesis, getting to play iconic Phil Collins drum parts. This eventually leads to me also being the touring drummer for Phil's solo career.
Yep.
I continue to play with Genesis through 1992 and make a killer living while being totally satisfied musically. I continue to be the touring drummer for Phil Collins' solo career through 2005. Again, this is a very plentiful career, both financially and musically. I basically have replaced Chester Thompson in this scenario.
Very cool.
What was your prediction?
I said strung out drums, and he said Chicago singing.
I said you were going to sing for Chicago.
The strung out thing would be like
just because I'm like he's going to throw us off.
Yeah. No, I figured like strung out would be
obvious.
Strung out is too in the stratosphere is for what they mean to me that I wouldn't want to ruin it by being
Gotcha.
Also, I don't like playing stuff. I don't want to play really too aggressive.
I
or too
also
fast.
am 43
I like him like more
and out of
rock.
shape, and I don't want to play strung out songs on drums.
No, it doesn't sound like fun.
I am not in the shape to do that,
dude.
And Nirvana
No.
would be kind of crazy. Foo Fighters on drums would be a goddamn nightmare.
Can you imagine playing for 3 hours, balls out like that?
And you got to play fucking the Everlong.
That's why,
and that's usually later in the set,
That's
so you're
a
already
burner.
toast. Yeah, that would be so fucking hard.
And don't forget about My Hero, and your legs already fucking tired.
Oh yeah.
So basically, I got to join Genesis and Phil Collins' band, but it's still with Phil Collins.
Yeah, he wins.
Did you ever hear that
He
freaking-
He wins the challenge this week. I think that brings us to finding out what
Are we about to roll?
We are about to roll. So yeah, let's videotape that one. All right,
Hang on, let me get a better zoom here.
Jay, you ready?
I think I'm ready.
All right, because so here it is.
All right, what are we doing next? Come on, 110.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Three Ninjas is not going to hold up, boys.
Oh, it does, though. It does.
I have not seen this shit in 20 years or more.
I saw it last couple years
Rocky
ago.
Loves Emily.
Oh, man.
I just remember the one thing with the kidnappers. We're not here to hurt you. We're just here to kidnap you.
We're not here to hurt you. We're just here to kidnap you.
That's like not comforting to a kid. It's so great. So funny.
Oh, this is so good.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I'm gonna watch it with Bubba.
I've got an idea of a possible guest.
Okay. Do I know this guest?
Yes.
Do I know this guest?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
All right. So we'll
Actually, I've got 2 ideas for guests.
Okay.
If they work out, then we will see them here.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate having a guest.
Yeah, me neither. I like guests.
Guests are great.
All right. We will see you guys next time for 3 Ninjas. Fuck, I'm so excited for this one.
Yeah, I love this movie.
I
still do.
I was pleasantly surprised than I thought I would be with Rockstar. When we rolled it last time, I was like, fuck, I don't really want to watch this one.
It was fun.
It was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. So
See, I feel like we went
fun.
I feel like for me, we went through like a little bit of a
Turdberg.
Yeah.
Dude, fear was like the end of it for me. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
I wasn't real stoked for like half a dozen episodes on the movie. I'm always stoked to do an episode,
of the movies.
But I wasn't stoked on some of the movies. And then we did Rockstar, and we rolled. Now we're rolling 3 Ninjas, and I'm like, okay, we're getting into a little good good run.
Yeah, we're getting some springtime fun here. So all right, see you guys next time for 3 Ninjas. Peace.
Yeah. Watch along. Be excellent to each other.
And don't karate chop everyone in sight.
Yeah.
Until next week.
Rocky loves Emily.
Rocky loves
Emily.
Rocky loves Emily.
Fucking Rocky.
And you may ask yourself, how do I work this? And you may ask yourself, where is that large automobile? And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful house. And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife. Letting the days go by, let the water hold me out. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money's gone, once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. Same as it ever was, same as it ever